he picked the wrong family, and not scared of a conflict, and we're not scared. We're not running. We're coming at him.
Well, good evening, friends. I hope you're all doing well tonight. I'm Franky. This is Mexi.
Hi, happy Saturday.
And this is the Think Tank. So we got a little bit on the go tonight, Mexi?
Sorry.
No, gotta come.
My throat. My gosh. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. You've been going crazy. There's been so much activity for you lately. The Murdoch,
well, yeah,
and Tyree, of course.
Yeah, there's a bunch of the cases are starting to move around a little bit. So, yeah, and if you don't keep on top of them, like, I'll get lost. I will get lost. What do you think? They also released that video of oh my God, Pelosi's husband.
Yeah. I saw that after we checked out the Tyree footage, and I just didn't have it in me. Like, I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're talking about it, because I don't know what the hell is going on this one.
Yeah. I thought it'd be a good one to go over because, yeah, that guy was attacked by a hammer by someone who broke into his house. It's like, what the hell? That one, that Tyree, I know a lot of places are showing it, but it was offensive to my nature. So it just, yeah.
The more I thought about it, the more it like really did hurt my my whole spirit, just like on it, like just all of it. Like, I didn't like any of the things that I was thinking in anything.
Yeah, it's literally triggering for a lot of people to see that kind of thing go on. And I know it was for me, like I had to get rid of it. If they had showed a little bit, but the attack on that guy was like, they were relentless.
Yeah.
And, I'm of the opinion, if you're law enforcement and you choose to behave this way, I really think that they should have a lot stiffer punishment than the regular Joe. I mean,
yeah, especially when you break an oath.
Yes.
Like, that is literally your civil duty, sir, like, is to serve and protect. And I get that sometimes things might get a little
hairy.
Yeah, and and cops have a hard job, they get flack from everywhere. I'm sure a lot of times people are telling them to F you or FO, instead of have a nice day, officer, thank you.
Oh yeah.
And build up, that frustration,
but I didn't see where this guy actually did anything to
even
deserve,
and even if he had done something, like, he didn't deserve that, because that's not the way. That's not the way that's not the way it works.
No. Oh, the deer are just booting her down the road. What's going on? They're running. Yeah, it wasn't. I did not expect it to be that disturbing. You know, I've got pretty high tolerance to a lot of stuff, but when it comes to something like that, I mean, I definitely react emotionally. I could not be a journalist out there seeing this stuff and report. My emotions are too much into it.
And
I
I want
can't.
to make this very clear. I have nothing against cops. Like, I have
Mhm.
nothing against cops. Like, I have nothing against really anyone, just shitty people in
Just
general. If you're a
shitty
shitty person.
people.
And I think what hurt me the most, like watching that, was,
Yep.
and like I said earlier, I wasn't looking at them like, oh, here's another cop, here's another cop,
Right.
here's another cop. I look at them as human beings. These are
That's
human
right.
beings showing up, and you have to like put your. I mean, I don't want to put myself, but like if you think about it, like Tyrese probably like, okay, this guy's gonna come and help me. Okay,
Right.
this next guy's gonna come and help me, and all you
Yeah.
as a human, this is what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
None of
Yeah.
you guys, nobody. That's what gets me, is that nobody
No, they sat and watched or they
stopped
walked away.
or ran up and said, "What the f are you
Yeah.
guys doing?" Like, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in just like mankind. I think that's where I'm at right now. That's it. Yeah.
Hey, Blifton.
Hi,
Good to see
Melissa.
you. And you know what? Most cops have something against these cops. And I
Yeah.
agree with you 100%. You know, it's assholes like this that do make people question authority. They they are supposed to be there to protect and serve, not beat, maim, and unalive.
That's not your job, sir. That's not
Yeah. Hmm.
that's not right. Period. That's
No.
not how it goes.
And
Um,
on any level, it's not all right. You know, it's yeah, very disturbing. It was very, very disturbing to see. So I do have a little bit on that to go through. And I thought the Murdochs, we've got a little bit. That Paul Pelosi attack to kind of, it's not as vicious. It's not as, yeah. And then Brian Koberger and his attorney, what's going on with that? And whatever else comes up today. That's basically what I have said. Did you have anything kind of set up you wanted to go through?
no, not necessarily, but can we do, I mean, and not that I want to do it, but can we do like a funny thing at the end of the night?
That's
Just
a great idea.
just to get
Yes.
everybody back on track. It's been rough. It's been rough.
Yeah, yeah. And like you said, seeing something like that, it does. It affects your soul.
Yeah.
It hurts our feelings, and especially knowing that we basically have no control over what happens, you know.
I wish I could,
Yeah,
I wish I could.
absolutely. Yeah. And I do think that's the most frustrating thing in something like that is you want to get involved and you want to like
I just don't know how to make that change though.
right.
Like that. Because you need a whole bunch of movement and everyone's on the same side and no one like strays from that. But
Yeah, exactly.
you also need like a really conscious, like I don't know, you need Gandhi like leading a group or something. I don't know.
Right. So what I pulled up is basically this is the fellow getting into that house and ultimately what happened with Paul Pelosi. So maybe we'll take a peek at that and see what we have to say about this one.
Yeah, definitely don't want all of here. I definitely don't want all of here. Hello. Yeah. He said 2620, right? No, 2640. Yeah, Lily's sitting there. Hi, how you doing? What's going on, man? Hi. Drop the hammer.
No. Hey.
What is going on right
I'm
now?
not getting an answer.
Wow. Right?
In the area that someone in.
I got him.
Knocked him right out.
Ever 14, ever 10, back up, code 3.
Code 3 back up at 26.
Give me your hand.
Unit code
Give me your hand.
40 Broadway for 14 out.
He's snoring.
He is.
Ever 14, ever 10, medics, code 3 as well.
I'm sorry, Ella.
Got it? Go to the hammer.
Yeah.
Out.
Affirmative.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, now this is him getting in. Yeah, he was snoring.
So I'm really even confused at how that even. What? Okay. Oh,
Why was he snoring?
No. I saw all that. I'm just like, but I was confused by like the way they both answered the door. Like,
Well, yeah, because they were both holding on to that.
yeah. So like, what is?
Yeah. In the middle of I think they were probably fighting over that thing. And the cops came at the right time. That's I think
like,
I seen.
I'm new here. I'm like, this is first time I'm ever even watching anything related to the story. So I'm learning. So let's come on, let's play.
It's just pretty wild, eh?
Press play.
Unreal. Okay. Jimmying the door. Oh. He's determined. Unreal.
Oh, I guess I told them to. What is it?
This is San Francisco Police. Do you need help?
Who is this?
Oh,
Did he
what
just
is
call
it?
911 and ask who is
Here,
this?
just waiting for my wife to come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Pelosi.
Hubby?
He's just waiting for her to come back. She's not going to be here for a day, so I guess I'll have to wait.
Dan?
Okay. Do you need police, fire, or medical for anything?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
0 to 23 and 58 seconds.
There's the is the Capitol Police around?
2, 20.
No, this
They
is San
usually
Francisco.
protect my wife. They're usually here at the house protecting my wife.
No, this is San Francisco Police.
Friday,
I
October
understand.
28, 2022.
Okay, well,
0 to 20.
So if you understand that, why would you think the other cops were around that department?
Mm-hmm.
he thinks everything's good. I've got a problem, but he thinks everything's good.
0
Okay. Call us back if you change your mind.
Oh my God.
No. This gentleman just came into the house, and he wants to wait here for my wife to come home.
What?
And so,
Yeah.
anyway, he told me to put the phone down.
Do you know who the person is?
No, I don't know who he is.
So why did you?
He has this. He's telling me not to. He's telling me not to do anything.
What is your address, sir?
2640 Broadway.
0 to 25 and 0.
What is your name?
Seconds.
My name is Paul Pelosi.
Friday.
Anyway, this gentleman says that he thinks everything ought to, he told me to put the phone down and just do what he says. Okay?
Okay, what's the gentleman's name?
I don't know. What's that?
My name's David.
The name is David.
Fuck?
Right?
And who is David?
I don't know. What's that? I'm a friend of theirs. Yeah, he says he's a friend, but as I
But
say,
you don't,
I've never.
but you don't know who he is?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
He's telling me I'm being very late, so I got to
Right?
talk to you, okay?
Can we pause? Because
Okay. You sure I can stay on the phone with you?
Isn't that something?
am I just confused, or is this like the weirdest
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
fucking 911 call?
It's pretty weird. Yeah. It's a little unusual.
And so that's Paul. He's a businessman. I didn't even know. I've heard Pelosi. I don't know who Pelosi is.
Oh, his wife is like White House, I think.
Oh, that's where I've heard the name.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why I know like some businessman in financial leasing. I'm like,
yeah, she's a.
how do I know? This is how much I know of politics. I don't.
Yeah, and that's it. She's a political figure.
I know. Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy
Just to make sure
Pelosi.
everything's okay.
No, he wants to get Bill off the phone.
0, 2, 20,
Okay.
6,
Okay.
and 0, 8
Thank you.
seconds.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so now the whole protect my wife. It's usually the Capitol cops. They're here. They protect my wife. That makes sense. I'm like, who the fuck is this dude?
Yeah.
All of you.
Yeah. Right?
So it was me. I was confused. This call is strange.
Absolutely.
But some things make sense. Okay. I'm following.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi is the wife.
Yeah, she's the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Okay, you know better than I do. I had no
super
clue.
important.
Yeah.
She's yeah. Oh man, it's just so funny because you were like, oh my god, you're such a nerd about all these things. This geography, politics.
Oh, me too.
I can't. It's not. Oh, and math. Like
Yeah.
I mean, basic math I got, but like.
And Pelosi's a different country than me, so I don't know a lot about
Right.
her. I just know she's up there.
There's a couple of things that are strange to me so far, like that we've kind of heard that little piece.
Mm-hmm.
How is this guy like this cool? Like I
think he's being kind of forced to. I don't know, right? Like,
I mean, dude, if that's all you have is a hammer and you're knocking on my door and I already see you standing there with a hammer.
Yep.
You're in my house.
Yep. Well, how did he get in? Was that like through a window?
It almost
looked like the way
it looked like he was like chipping it, right? Like he was, like breaking it out or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't look like well, it must be a big house because I mean, it didn't look like he was going gently on the door trying to get in.
What this
right?
And this, I mean, I hope the guy is he okay? Is he okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he ended up hospitalized for a while. But yeah, he ended up okay. When he got that clunk, I mean, as you could tell from the snoring, he just got knocked the hell out. And that's usually
laugh, but like that's just
oh, he was really snoring. Well, that's it, Blifton. Doesn't the Speaker of the House have Secret Service? She is supposed to.
Yes.
Yeah, but she was not home. So what does that just kind of leave him a sitting duck?
Well, that is, I don't know. Again, this is right over my head because I know nothing about politics, but I would think that they would still offer some sort of Because he asked for the Capitol Cops. Is that what he asked for? That was the Capitol Cops?
I do
If they
believe.
were around or something like that. Like,
Yeah, because he said that there's usually someone there for his wife.
Yeah.
So
I wonder
she
if
should have put that together. I
Hmm.
mean, you'd think, but no, he's okay. He got out of the hospital and yeah, it's okay. I guess he's not like what I read anyways, because I don't know a lot about these people.
82 years old.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
who
Mm-hmm.
is this dude? Who is this Pape? Pape? Who's this?
Who is this dude? Yeah. Let me see if I can find any more on him. Speaker of the House.
Poor guy. Yeah, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder because she is high up there, and she would get some sort of protection. I think maybe Secret Service. I'm not really sure, but you would think they would wouldn't they extend the same thing to like their family members when they're like that being found?
Yeah. It says a video released publicly Friday shows the husband of former U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi struggling with his assailant for control of a hammer moments before you girls. Hey,
ladies.
Oh my.
Ladies.
You girls. Really? Yeah, struggled the assailant for control of the hammer and was struck in the head during the attack. Body camera footage shows suspect David DePape wrest the tool from Paul Pelosi, 82, and lunged towards him with the hammer over his head. The blow to Pelosi occurs out of the camera's view, and the offers use one of them cursing rushed into the house and jumped DePape. Hey, you two! Good Lord. So it says Pelosi, apparently unconscious, can be seen lying face down on the floor in his pajama top and underwear. The release comes after a coalition of news agencies, including the Associated Press, sought access to the evidence that prosecutors played in open court last month. So it sounds like it was about, it says here, the evidence includes portions of Paul Pelosi's 911 call on October 28th, as well as a video from the Capitol Police surveillance, a body camera worn by one of the two police officers who arrived first at the scene, and nearly 18 minutes of audio recording. So we missed a lot. They didn't release everything. And it says that he got through a glass panel door about 2 a.m.
I answer my question.
Wearing a large backpack and carrying two other bags. He set the items down and pulled out a hammer, pausing to put on gloves, and used it to smash the door glass so he could step through an opening. Let's see here. Members of Congress have faced a sharp rise in threats in the last 2 years since the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. So it says the men are facing the officers at the door. Initially, the hammer is in the shadows, and it takes about 5 seconds before the flashlight shows DePape holding the handle of a hammer with his right hand and clutching Pelosi's right hand, which is gripping around the hammerhead with his left hand. The struggle is not apparent in the first few seconds. What's going on, man? The officer asks. Everything's good, DePape replied. Drop the hammer, the officer said. And DePape said, nope, and begins to pull the tool from Pelosi's grip, and thus the attack. So, yeah.
I had this because I was looking up, I don't even know what I looked up, but I clicked on a link, and scanning. And so Mr. Pelosi, he's up there. So a knock to the head like that could have killed him.
Absolutely.
He had surgery to repair a skull fracture.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Abuelo. Ay, pobre.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, like now, like the 911 call sounds really different to me because like I was really confused because it really is kind of like a strange call. You would think you'd be
Absolutely.
like, hey, somebody's just broke into my house. I have no idea who this person is.
Yeah,
Please just
he had.
But he sounds like he was trying to be nice. I don't even. Poor guy. I don't even.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
And I did read this sentence because it answered my question about Nancy Pelosi was in Washington at the time and under the protection of her security detail, which does not extend to family members.
Oh, is that right, eh? You'd think that they would cover her house, though.
I mean, you would here in America. I mean,
isn't that something,
we
hey?
can afford one guy. One guy can't hang out with them.
Right? I bet you there's someone there now. There better be. And they better not have had to hire them at their expense because the reason the guy was there was due to her being in politics.
She's I mean, she's an important person, like third in line, like Blifton said. She's
yeah, exactly. No, it's
wow, what a strange story. And so this guy, no idea why he's done it. What not like.
Yeah, he said that he didn't plan on harming her, that he just wanted to basically keep her there and make her listen to what he had to say.
What did he have to say?
I don't know. Right?
I mean, I'll sit if it's interesting. You don't have to like force me.
Well, this isn't popping in. Everything that's led up to Alex Murdaugh's. So it looks like it is. Oh, yes, it is very detailed. So maybe jump over here for a second, Mexi, and we'll take a look at the Murdaughs again.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is kind of interesting. We've talked about it before, but we haven't gone through everything. Basically, it's been 3 generations of the Murdaugh family that have served the South Carolina 14th Circuit Court solicitor position, the top of the prosecutor representing Beaufort, Jasper, Hampton, Allendale, and Colton counties. So yeah, since 1920 to 2005, that family held that position. And I think this is Alec is the first one that really has not had too much of a connection. As far as that goes, he stayed
right. Yeah. Shame. He's the shame. But
shame.
I think his great papa, was it his great papa?
Yep.
Buster, like 19.
Buster was his dad, I think.
The guy born in 1950. No, he wasn't born in 1956. But he was asked to step down from his solicitorship. Because I guess he was bootlegging or something. I don't know.
Yeah. 'Twas the time, wasn't it?
It was. 'Twas
the time. So it was July 8th, 2015 that they found Stephen Smith, who was 19, dead on that Sandy Run Road in Hampton County. No arrests were ever made. So, of course, speculation will always throw that out. Speculation warning that it's being said that he may have known Buster a little bit better than people were thinking. And if that's the case, Buster might have some explaining to do. If that's the case. And then on February 2nd, 2018, Gloria Satterfield, 57, fell at the Murdochs on the top step of that hunting house. And let's see here. It says that more than 2 decades she served as the family housekeeper and nanny, so should have been close. She did pass away on the 26th of February from her injuries. And Alex was pretty shady when it came to this girl and this lady and her family. Alex Murdoch tells Satterfield's sons that he was responsible and plans to sue himself. So they are financially taken care of. And the family said that they did not receive any money. And as far as we know, Alec did receive money, about $500,000 worth. Yeah.
Bunch of it.
And then it was February 24th, 2019, when Mallory Beach, who was 19, went missing after that boat crash near Paris Island. They did find her a week later. And the scene of the crash was at Archer's Creek. So, I don't know. I'm not getting pictures. I'm gonna do something here. I'm just gonna refresh this and see if come on, refresh. I got a couple tabs open. Might be my problem. Did we get some? Okay, let's see what happens here. She likes to act up for me. Come on. One more refresh. Dogs are daddy, daddy, daddy. Okay, what's going to happen if I do this now? Is it going to let me go?
This area is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'll just do this really quick because it'll probably be. Oh my God, all the tabs. What were you thinking? I shared my screen, but this is Archer's Creek.
Okay, let me come over there. It's not letting me do anything right now. What's going on here?
Can I share properly?
I'm sure trying here. I got you sharing, but there you go.
Yeah. I was like staring at first. I was like, oh, that's me.
It's your turn.
This is Archer's Creek. This is where their boating accident happened. But then I do know that there was some sort of delay for a second because police thought that they were at a different bridge.
Yes.
And I wonder if was it this one, the Broad River, you think? Or was it?
Well, I really don't know, to be honest with you, because there is so many little waterways in there.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mallory was ejected from the boat. She unfortunately drowned, but she ended up being found like a week later in like these little.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are. What would you call those?
Really makes me wonder though how she got over there.
from here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Depending on the water, they're in South Carolina. I was hearing that Eric Allen, that YouTube creator, he does the Murdoch case, and he actually sits in court. He's been sitting in court every day, so he does like live updates whenever he can from Instagram. I've been following, but he says that water there in that area, in a couple, like you might pass through there and it's all deep and good, and then like come back a couple hours later, if that, and there's like you run into like an oyster bed. Like it can raise up to 10 feet in a matter of
with the tide.
And then it's weird. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and it was around a week before they found her. But it probably has a pretty good current. So I mean, I guess
you can kind of see how it can actually run off pretty easy from all the little trails, even if they're dry right now. Like, I can understand depending on the tide.
Yeah. What a shame. So that is something that Paul was still dealing with. I think he had court coming up something like 2 days later or a few days later to deal with that. But yeah, it looks like there's a lot of different waterways in through there.
I could see Paris Island. Hey. I mean, I could see where this place, it really is like their own little world, like undiscovered little.
Yeah. All these little towns scattered in amongst.
I'm starting to actually understand my clients now a lot better. Whenever they're in South Carolina, they're like, no, can't do that. That's too, nope. I'm like, but it's so close. Like, I don't understand. It's 5 miles. And they're like, no, it's far. Can't do it. I get it.
Yeah. It is really interesting geography.
Yeah.
And what is really neat, some of the things that I've watched is you see like the whales and the dolphin go through a lot of these spots. And I'm like, that's amazing.
That guy has a really good clip, like of dolphins like rolling through. It is pretty
Isn't that something?
Yeah, it is really sweet view.
Yeah.
My God, I'd be tickled to death if I saw that. Like, oh my God.
Oh, beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. I've always liked whale watching and enjoyed the seals and what have you. I've always loved that. The ocean's a pretty spectacular spot.
Yeah, I wouldn't get in it, but I do.
I have to see.
An amazing place. Yeah, undiscovered mostly. Hi, Perry.
Well, hello, Perry. Good to see you, friend. Very good to see you.
We were just learning about geography because I'm terrible at it.
Well, I've never been there, so it's interesting.
Yeah, I've never been to that side.
Yeah, well, I've been through Florida and what have you. And I was in, what is the first one you run into? You leave Florida and then you go into, I've been through there.
Georgia, Alabama.
North Carolina, South Carolina.
Well, it would be South Carolina. Well, it would be Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. The Appalachian Trail runs through here, guys, if you're interested.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I would have to look. It's been a lot of years, but I thought it was like left of Jacksonville. But I can't say for sure.
Yeah. I wouldn't cross that ocean by air or sea. Absolutely not. Too many factors.
You ever been to the UK or to Europe, Mexi?
No, absolutely not. No. No, absolutely.
I haven't either. I have not either, but I would sure
If
like
I
to.
can, if I can drive there, I'll do it. So like, if I would do, go United States, Mexico,
Yeah.
Brazil, and then drive back.
Wouldn't that be something?
Like,
Yeah,
but
that'd be
I
something.
wouldn't. I don't know. I'm okay with flying over land.
Oh, over the ocean freaks you out a little bit.
Well, I don't know how to
Yeah.
swim. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to swim.
Yeah, no, me either. I try not to think about it. I just kind of do it and try not to think of the as ifs. So how about we check? We were just talking about this not long ago, Mexi, this
Interview.
yeah, let's take a look at this. Yeah.
And time for a new ride. Hey, no GST at Camp.
Thank you, Jeremy. It is
Oh, Chong.
day 3 in the trial against disgraced South Carolina attorney Alec Murdaugh. He's on trial for allegedly killing his wife and son, Paul and Maggie. Today, the jury heard from 3 more of the state's witnesses. All 3 of them work in law enforcement. Our Brooke Butler was back in the courtroom for us. She continues our continuing coverage live from the Colleton County Courthouse. Brooke, prosecutors presented new video today.
Yeah, Marvis. A few hours after Maggie and Paul Murdaugh were shot and killed, a SLED agent pulled Alec Murdaugh, his personal attorney, as well as a Colleton County detective, into his car, and he conducted an on-camera interview. Now, we got a copy of that video, but I do want to warn you that some of the details revealed in the video are disturbing, so viewer discretion is advised. But take a look. In the beginning of the video, you can see Murdaugh is visibly upset. He appears to cry as he tells investigators what he saw before calling 911. Later on, Murdaugh calms down and tells investigators how he reacted upon discovering Maggie and Paul.
I think I tried to turn Paul over first.
So this part's pretty interesting because taking notice that his shirt is relatively clean. So let's listen to what he has to say about this.
I tried to turn him over, and I don't know. I figured it out. His cell phone popped out of his pocket. I started to try to do something with it, thinking maybe.
So what does he mean? Thought maybe I'd try doing something with it.
Maybe, but then I put it back down really quickly.
You touch Maggie at all?
I did. I touched them both.
Okay.
I tried to I tried to do it as limited as possible, but I tried to take their pulse on both of them.
Now take a good look at Murdaugh's clothes in this video. The prosecution and defense attorneys both noted today how clean Murdaugh's clothes appeared that night. The prosecution suggested if Murdaugh really checked Paul and Maggie's pulse or turned Paul over, he should have some blood on him considering the amount of blood that surrounded their bodies. But the defense took a different stance.
Now, when you were at this scene, when you first got there, did you see any footprints in the blood?
No.
Did you see any knee prints in the blood?
No.
Did you see what appeared to be blood on Alex Murdaugh's hands?
I did not.
On his arm?
No.
On his shirt?
None.
On his shorts?
No.
On his shoes?
I did not.
And to your visual eye, it did not look like he had been blown his son's head off in the confines of a feed room where splatters everywhere. Isn't that correct?
I didn't say that.
In the video, you can hear investigators ask Murdaugh if he knows of anyone who would do this to his wife and son. He tells them he can't think of anyone specifically, but does mention his groundskeeper. He also again mentions the boat wreck and how people had been threatening his son, Paul. Marvis.
Brooke, I imagine this was another tough day for jurors. They again saw some incredibly tough images today.
Yeah, Marvis, they had to look at photos of both Paul and Maggie's bodies And as those images were being shown, I did see some jurors actually physically rock themselves while looking at those images. I also saw another juror just put their hands to their mouth, just in shock at what they were seeing, Marvis.
Definitely some startling images there. Our Brooke Butler reporting live from Colleton County at the courthouse. Thank you so much for that live report, Brooke. And make sure that you can stream the trial live on our website, WJCL.com, or follow the trial on the go. Just download our WJ.
What? They promote, they saying that you could stream their stuff?
Seems to be, yeah.
That's dope. That's cool. They're just like, hey, come on, stream it. It'll be fun.
Let's take a look at this. This is about the boat.
It's a new year, and it's time for a new ride. Pay no GST at Cam Clark.
I'm at the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office, where I just picked up the 911 calls from the night of the boat crash. Now, just as a fair warning to our viewers, the audio you'll hear may contain some material that might be hard to listen to. Next to the sounds of the Low Country's calming waves came a call that was anything but.
What bridge is Paul? What bridge is this?
The chaos you're hearing is the 911 calls of the night 19-year-old Mallory Beach disappeared.
911, where's your emergency? Hello? Police, fire, EMS. Hello?
In audio obtained by WJCL 22 News, emergency calls capture the frightening scene of an early morning boat crash near Paris Island.
Tell everybody to just try and stay as calm as they can, okay? I know it's hard.
6 passengers, the caller says.
All 5 of us are on the bank, but we're missing one person.
Right, okay.
And the missing woman they mentioned was Mallory Beach.
Please send someone.
Oh, no, I'm coming. We're calling, okay?
That week, state and local agencies sent helicopters, diver teams, and patrol boats, all looking for the missing Hampton teen. And the next weekend, emergency responders received this call.
911, where's your emergency?
This is Kenny Campbell. We're on the search team rescue. We think we found her.
We've reached out to the Department of Natural Resources for an update on the investigation, but they have yet to respond to our calls. Tonight, from the local.
Unreal.
It's a new year, and it's time for a new ride at Cam Clark Ford. Get 2 years of no-charge maintenance with the purchase of any pre-owned.
Why is the commercial always 30 times louder than the actual?
11, I'm Daily. Begin with breaking news. A lawsuit filed against 2 businesses and a family in connection with the death of a Low Country teen. Mallory Beach died in February after the boat she was on crashed in waters near Paris Island. She was with a group of friends. The suit says the group had been drinking alcohol even though none of them were of legal drinking age. The family of Mallory Beach has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Luther's, a bar and restaurant on Bay Street in Beaufort, the Parker's 55 convenience store in Ridgeland, as well as Beaufort County homeowners Christy and James Wood. In the lawsuit, the Beaches claim that Mallory and her friends started their night by getting alcohol at the Parker's 55 in Ridgeland on February 23rd. Later, the wrongful death suit says the group of 18 to 20-year-olds went to the Woods' home to party and had alcohol there as well. The plaintiff claims that the Woods knew or reasonably should have known partygoers were underage. It also alleges the group took a boat from the home and went to Luther's, where some were served alcohol as well. The crew then left Luther's by boat and eventually crashed into a piling near Archers Creek Bridge. Mallory was thrown from the boat in that crash. Her body was found about a week later. 5 people on that boat were injured. When Port Royal police got to the scene, they described those boaters as, quote, grossly intoxicated. None of those boaters were named in the suit. We reached out to the defendants for their response to this lawsuit. This is what Greg Parker, founder and CEO of Parker's, had to say. We take the responsibility of selling alcohol very seriously at Parker's and have strict policies and procedures in place to make sure we sell alcohol only to individuals who have proof that they are of legal drinking age. Every member of Parker's team undergoes alcohol training, and we regularly send mystery shoppers to our stores to make sure team members are carding customers who purchase alcohol. We have not received any response from any of the other defendants at this time. Of course, this
It's a new year, and it's time for a new ride at Cam Clark Ford. Get 2 years of no...
The crash was arraigned in court this morning. WJCL's Alex Littlehills joins us now from the Beaufort County Courthouse. Alex, what happened today?
Well, Dale, Shannon, today is the first day that we've seen Murdaugh in a courtroom setting, as right now he is facing several serious charges. Now, Murdaugh actually did not speak at his arraignment today. That was done primarily by his lawyer, but his lawyer did say that Murdaugh is pleading not guilty to the 3 charges he's facing. One of them is the operation of a water vehicle under the influence of either alcohol or drugs, resulting in death. The judge did grant Murdaugh a bond totaling $50,000, but there are some conditions to this bond arrangement. He was ordered to hand over his passport to the state attorney general's office. He had to sign a waiver of extradition as a way to ensure the state of South Carolina that he will not be fleeing the state or country before he's called by the courts again. His attorney did issue a short statement today following the court proceedings. Take a listen.
We just wanted to accommodate any concerns the AG's office had. He's not leaving the state. He's not going to leave the country. So, and he waived extradition. Those are normal conditions. So, no, we didn't exactly. It's normal. It's being handled very normal.
Yep. He looks a little bit more awake here.
Very much alert.
Fashion.
The judge also noted that Murdaugh will not be allowed to leave the confines of the 14th Circuit Judicial District without prior consent by the courts. That includes Beaufort, Jasper, Hampton counties, as well as Allendale and Colleton counties. Now, Murdaugh just finished the latest spring semester at the University of South Carolina in Columbia. I asked the attorney how he was dealing with both the legal proceedings as well as the end of the school year. He said he did not wish to comment. Tonight, from the Low Country, Alex Littlehales, the
I'm just thinking, look at these videos, because they give a lot, well, really good explanations as well.
It's a new year, and it's time for a new ride at Cam Clark Ford. Get 2 years of no charge.
Hampton 911, where's your emergency?
Okay, so this is obviously going to be Alec after finding his wife and son Paul out by the dog kennels.
This is Alec Murdaugh at 4147 Moselle Road. I need the police to answer immediately. My wife and child just shot badly.
Okay, you said 4147 Moselle Road in Allison?
Sir?
You said 4147 Moselle Road in Allison?
Yes, sir. 4147 Moselle Road.
Stay on the line with me, okay? Yes, sir. Stay on the line with me, okay?
Hello?
I'm still here. Stay on the line. I'm still here, okay? Carlton, I have an Alex Murdaugh on the line, caller from 4147 Moselle.
So what do you think? Is this sounding genuine at all?
Again, I don't know. I have nothing to. But even in his interview, he makes those when he in that interrogation. Well, I guess if you want to call it an interrogation, when he starts question on the phone, he had the same kind of thing. He'd go calm and then have these like weird high inflections.
That's very true. Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, it's consistent. I mean, I'll say that it's consistent from.
Yeah, that's very true too. That's very true.
Well, Road, he's advising that his wife and child was shot. Mr. Murdaugh, go ahead and talk to Carlton.
It's 4147 Moselle Road. I've been up to it now. It's bad.
Colin County Communications.
Collison, I have an Alex Murdoch on the line, caller from 4147 Moselle Road. He's advising that his wife and child was shot.
Okay, and sir, give me the address again.
It's 4147 Moselle Road. I've been up to it now. It's bad.
Okay. Okay, and are they breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son.
Are they in a vehicle?
No, ma'am. They're on the ground out at my kennels.
Yeah, that whimpering sounds fake.
Did you see anyone? Okay, is he breathing at all?
No, nobody.
Is she? Okay, do you see anything? Do you see anyone in the area?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
What color is your house on the outside? What color is your house on the outside?
It's white. You can't see it from the road.
Okay, is it a house or a mobile home?
It's a house.
Okay, and what is your name?
My name is Al.
Okay, that to me just sounds so like we're talking about entitled. Listen to how he sounds when he is asked if he lives in a house or a trailer.
Hey, real quick, can
Yeah.
I just share? Can I share my screen for Perry just real quick, and then
Yeah, let me
we
just
can
pop over
exit
there.
out.
And I'll, okay, let's see.
My
I'm ready.
gosh.
I know from Ellie testimony, he didn't seem to have tears, so maybe that's why I'm so pessimistic. I expect I would be streaming tears. I'm the same. Hello, Lifton.
Can you see my
I'm
screen?
not sure what I think of his reactions, Perry. Like, he's all over the map.
What do you
Okay,
call
there you go.
those? What do you call those?
Where?
Those. What are those?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I just
know.
wanted to show that because he was like, I haven't seen him shed a tear. What are those then? I don't. I zoomed in super close. Just. I couldn't help
Tears.
it, man. Like I couldn't help it because
One in the area?
Oops. Mark, get set, go.
Yeah?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
What color is your house on the outside? What color is your house on the outside?
It's white. You can't see it from the road.
Okay, is it a house or a mobile home?
It's a house.
Okay, and what is your...
My name is...
How dare you ask if I live in a mobile? Is this one more time and then I'll leave it alone.
It's white. You can't see it from the road.
Okay, is it a house or a mobile home?
It's a house.
Okay, and what is your name?
My name is Alex Murdoch.
So I want to play devil advocate for one.
Okay, did you hear anything, or did you come home and find them?
No, man, I've been gone. I just came back.
Okay, and was anyone else supposed to be at your house?
No, ma'am. Please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you.
Oh, man. Oh.
Okay, what is her name?
Maggie and Paul.
Maggie is her name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you. Me asking you these questions, don't slow them down, okay? And you sure they're not breathing? Is he moving at all, your son? I know you said that she was shot, but what about your son?
Nobody's. They're not. Neither one of them's moving.
What is your telephone number? And does anything look out of place?
Ma'am, not particularly, really. No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
All right, I'm going back down there.
I still want to know where he parked to see them both. I'm still very curious about that.
Mm-hmm.
Are they closed, ma'am?
Yeah, they've been en route with you ever since you've got on the phone with me. I have multiple people coming out there to you. Okay, can you do me a favor, Mr. Murdoch, and turn on the flashers on your car so that way they can see where the kennels are?
21. Come down station 18. You will need station 15.
Do you have your flashers on for me, Mr. Murdoch?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want you to touch them at all, okay? I don't know if you've already touched them, but I don't want you to touch them just in case they can get any kind of evidence, okay?
I'd already touched them trying to get to see if they were breathing.
Okay. Well, I just don't want you to move anything just in case they can get any kind of evidence, okay?
Oh. Ma'am, I'm going to call. I need to call some of my family.
Okay. Well, do me a favor for me. Whenever you see the officer or the medics, because they're all coming to you.
Absolutely.
So isn't that a strange comment? Like, I want to call my family. Let's get off the phone with 911.
It is.
Does that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
thought of something interesting because the 911 caller was asking him to like flash the lights, his lights for the responders. So I'm just gonna share my screen really quick again. Sorry.
Yep. Okay.
And this is something that was, I don't know if I found it off like part of evidence or if it was on one of those things, like one of the pages you were just reading.
I've seen it. Yeah.
And I was curious because this is where they place them. Obviously, they're more over here by the red shed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they place him all the way over here. And I was like, why did they place him all the way over there? Like, why don't you just place them? Because you'd think they'd be right on top of each other. But her
strange?
asking him if the 911 operator asking him like, hey, can you flash your lights, whatever. So instead of him driving all the way down here, because you probably wouldn't be able to see the lights if he was over here. So he just backed up, maybe?
That's a long way to back up.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to throw out why they would place that dot there. It could be for nothing, but
oh, that's a good question. No, that's a good question, because he just said like 2 seconds ago, I'm gonna get out of my truck and go down there, and I doubt very much he walked from there all the way down to those kennels.
Well, he also said, like, if the order was correct, that he had gone to his house, right? So he did actually go to his house at some point, and then she was like, "Hey, are you flashing your lights?" And then he said, "Yeah, I'm getting ready to go down there." So where was he? Was he here, or was he over here and then going here? Or was he at home and then was like, "Oh, I'll flash my lights because it's a better view"?
I didn't hear him move the vehicle.
Yeah, I didn't hear any of that either. Yeah.
And Perry, that's a really good. He didn't sound too concerned about Buster's whereabouts or safety, which very good observation. I would really, really like to know where Buster was at this time.
I would also like to know if Buster was one of his phone calls, actually. Because, know, he was saying he made 6 phone calls, and I think he only ended up listing
his brothers.
3, Wendy, John, and then he said something really weird. Tried a real good boy friend who lives right around the corner.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I don't understand that statement either. It makes absolutely no sense. What boy and why would you tell a boy to that mess?
Can we actually watch the complete interview to that? I know, like, we kept trying. I kept watching. I kept trying.
I'll finish up with.
Yeah. But because I'd really love to just finish watching that, because that was.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good question. I have. That's exactly right. He's a good old boy.
Mm-hmm. Never mean
okay, a good old boy, not a good. That makes more sense, Perry. Good old boy around the corner.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than good
old
old boy.
I'd like to maybe go back and maybe, I don't know, see if I heard that right. Tried a real good boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's check this out again.
Yeah.
Okay, but we have them come in, turn on the flashes on your vehicle so they can see you, okay? You got the flashes on for me?
I do.
Okay, all right. Just whenever you see them.
Okay.
How old is your son?
22.
Okay. All right, we're getting them out there to you, okay?
And I will answer if you call.
Yeah.
It's a new year and it's time for a new ride at Innisfail Chrysler. We are selling over 150.
Every project I try to do in here, I try to relate to the real world, try to relate to real life.
See here. We'll watch another one here. Authorities confirm the identities of the deceased, referring to the incident as a double homicide.
It's a new year and it's time for a new ride at Innisfail Chrysler. We are selling over 150.
2 members of a well-known low-country family were discovered overnight. You're looking at a map showing where their bodies were found on Moselle Road in Islandtown. Our Danae Bucci joins us now live from the scene with what we know so far. Danae.
Shannon, Margaret and Paul Murdaugh were identified by the Colleton County Coroner's Office earlier this afternoon. It was a long day for investigators at this property in Islandton, a rural area north of Varnville in Colleton County. The bodies of Margaret and Paul Murdaugh were found at 10 p.m. Monday night. The Colleton County Coroner's Office tells us preliminary results show both died from gunshot wounds. Margaret Murdaugh was 52 and was the mother of Paul Murdaugh, who was 22. Their bodies were discovered at a family hunting lodge off Mossel Road. According to county records, Maggie owned the property. The state law enforcement division has joined the investigation into their death. And the law firm where the Murdaughs worked sent out a statement on Facebook earlier today saying they appreciate everyone's patience and prayers during this time. Shannon?
So, Danae, do investigators have any leads yet?
Well, the Colleton County Sheriff's Office as well as SLED say they don't have any leads, but they don't believe that this incident should be a worry for the public. Shannon?
All right, Danae, thank you. Well, one of the victims of that double homicide was involved in a deadly boat crash just a few years ago. Our Riley Miller joins us now to revisit that case. Riley.
Shannon, the name Paul Murdaugh may sound familiar. Paul was facing 3 felony charges following a 2019 boat crash that left 19-year-old Mallory Beach dead.
But it is hard. Yes, it's hard. There's moments that we have that things remind us of Mallory, and we break down at times. Like that's normal. That's part of the grieving process. I never knew what it would be like to go through something like this.
Those were words from Philip Beach, whose daughter Mallory was killed in a boat crash back in February of 2019.
All 5 of us are on the bank, but we're missing one person.
Mallory was thrown into the water after the boat she was on slammed into a piling near the Archers Creek Bridge. Her body was found a week later. Port Royal police on scene that night described the boaters as grossly intoxicated.
What bridge is this?
Paul Murdaugh was indicted April 18, 2019 on what would have been Mallory's 20th birthday.
Sad.
The charges included boating under the influence causing death and 2 counts of boating under the influence causing great bodily injury. Murdaugh pled not guilty on all charges.
Of course he did.
We reached out to the beach.
Of course he did. So these two, it's Randy Murdaugh and John Marvin Murdaugh. So these are the brothers to Alex.
Means extra service at no extra cost. We'll fill your tank, clean your windshield, and get you on your way. And full service is part of why co-ops are able to provide good jobs to more than 25,000 Western Canadians. Whether it's cold in Edmonton, sunny in Regina, rainy in Victoria, or snowy in Winnipeg, we are filling your tank. We are fueling your day. We are co-op.
He's a very caring person. She was the rock of their family.
This morning, members of the Murdaugh family speaking for the first time since their brother Alec Murdaugh found his 22-year-old son Paul and his wife Maggie shot to death outside their South Carolina home last week.
I got a call from Alec Monday night. And as soon as I answered the phone, I knew something was wrong. No, man. He just told me. He said, come as fast as you can. Paul and Maggie have been hurt.
His voice, the fear. He was just distraught.
No arrests have been made, no suspects named. The Murdaughs issuing a plea for help this morning.
But the person that did this is out there, and there's information, however big or however small it is.
Did they have any enemies?
I really don't know of any enemies. You hear all this talk on the, social media with regard to Paul, but I don't know of anybody that would truly be an enemy or truly want to harm them.
Paul Murdaugh had been awaiting trial accused of being under the influence in 2019 while crashing a boat, killing 19-year-old passenger Mallory Beach. He had pleaded not guilty in the case.
Did you guys feel a shift after that accident happened?
People that knew Paul didn't, but people that saw what he was portrayed probably did.
The Murdaughs telling us Paul had been receiving threats from strangers, people they say they didn't know.
Were they, violent threats?
I didn't think it was a credible threat. If it was, I would have tried to do something or notified someone. But I guess, maybe I made a mistake.
The Murdaughs are one of the most prominent families in South Carolina, part of the legal establishment going back almost a century. 3 generations of Murdaughs held the solicitor's job in this region for years. They also own a prominent law firm where Randy and Alec currently work today. Some in the community questioning if the family used their connections to protect Paul the night of the boat crash.
Do you think anyone in your family interfered in any way?
I don't.
Do you feel like some of the perception of your family has been wronged?
Yes. I see words like dynasty used and power. And I don't know exactly how people use those words, but we're just regular people and we're hurting just like they would be hurting if this had happened to them.
This morning, this tight-knit family holding on to each other.
How's your brother doing?
He's upright and looks strong and making his way, and then he just breaks down. It's tough for us.
It changes you as a family. And I can't imagine the horror that my brother's experiencing.
Now, our team saw state law enforcement searching the swamp near the crime scene yesterday, and they have set up a dedicated hotline now just for this case through Crime Stop.
Oh, and then we'll get into this in a minute. So what do you think, Mexi?
About Steven?
Well, kind of what the family was just saying, like they really seem to think that somebody came after them outside of their close circle.
Well, if they know it is, they should probably say something, because one of his brothers, that one, I think the one with the darker hair.
Yeah.
The older looking one.
The bigger guy, yeah.
Yeah. He's an attorney. He's still an attorney for the company.
Yeah. Yep.
And he knows what his brother has done. He's seen the paperwork. Like,
yeah. 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 I don't know. Yeah, it's just when it comes to family, it's so easy to put those purple glasses on.
Are they? I don't know. That's why I was asking about. So the common, or just like the basic idea would be that the reason I'm stuck on this guy, why is he not wearing a tie?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
But
I think it's so he looks like everybody else.
Right, exactly. Like blue collar and just like him, just like you, just regular guy.
Just like you guys, yeah. But don't kill your kids.
Buster, James, and I think it's this other brother. I don't see the dark hair on him anymore, but they all wear the same outfits. All of them.
You mean totally?
Like the sports jacket, the button-down shirt with the open button at the top, no tie.
Oh, right.
It's
right.
So I can understand
didn't
like
take
a
notice of
client,
that.
like or a defendant, like wanting to look like that, for purposes, but like everyone just dressed like they're just like we stand in like
unity.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to know in previous interviews. You see, they're not at work. Maybe that's why they're wearing like their civvy clothes and no tie. Maybe it's like, look at, we're all just like you. Like, I'd like to know if they are wearing.
But it's like those three guys. I mean, I know they probably talked to Alec, right? from time to time, but it's like those three guys too were just like, hey, we're all gonna be wearing like a light kind of grayish sport jacket. Don't wear anything darker than like an egg white on a collared shirt. Okay, we all gotta kill it. We gotta be the same.
We gotta be the same.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not weird. It's just kind of like,
well,
it's strange when you see them sitting literally behind him.
Yeah.
But they're all in a line. Like when the shot hits them just right, you see Alec, his son behind him.
Yeah.
And then his
two brothers.
I know one of them is. I don't know who the guy at the end is.
So, and then they've also got the sister and then the niece and the, like after, in the next row after them. They're not on the same row, which I found really, really interesting. I thought maybe the family, well, unless that's family all the way across, but usually you take the women in, and those two seem to be sitting off to the side there a little bit. Again, speculation Saturday, we can kind of just talk it out. And I mean, there's always going to be speculation in these cases, you know, as long as nobody takes a person's speculation and puts it out as fact. We don't do that here, thank goodness. But
and I don't want to be geeky, but like the trial, like
I love the geeky in you.
You're fun. Like I really find like it's fun. It's fun for me. I find this stuff interesting. Like,
yeah, you're kind of like the girl that's like super cool and is like a brainiac at the same time. Like that's kind of the way I see you as, like super brainiac, but a brainiac rebel.
I act accordingly. I always act accordingly.
Yeah, you do. Right. You got the man is
These
down.
guys, I love what I'm seeing. Like, I am for this. Like, not for the whole murderous part of it, no, but like
you're enjoying the trial part.
Yeah,
for sure.
like
You're like
the
watching
lawyers, the people, the judge, like
well, you're still young.
Vocabulary, the accent, the theatrics.
You're still young to go back and work at that a bit. You'd be good at it. I think you should go for PI personally.
I would go for PI more than I'd go try to be a lawyer. I would hate to go get dressed and be around
So have you looked into that in your area to see what a person would take?
Yeah, it's pretty official, and you have to work underneath somebody else, and you actually have to kind of have a bachelor's in that field.
Right. Okay.
I do not.
It's amazing how state to state it's different.
Yeah, if I move to where? Mississippi?
Yeah, you can work with JT over there in Mississippi.
I'll buy a clothing shop and then call it PI.
Right. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, super Texy-Mexy, the brainiac rebel. That's what I should have running across your thing. The brainiac rebel.
What shall we do today, Pinky?
Right.
Take over the world.
Okay, so this is Stephen Smith, June 23rd, 2021. Based on information gathered in the Murdaugh investigation, SLED says it is looking into the 2015 death of Stephen Smith in Hampton County. SLED does not elaborate on the information it obtained. So this is Stephen.
It's a new year and it's time for a new ride at Innisfail Chrysler. We're selling over 150.
A mother and son murder mystery in South Carolina widens. Another death investigation in the Lowcountry now being looked at again. Our Riley Miller joins us now from the newsroom. And Riley, we've been following this story for a while now. What's the latest?
Shannon, as officials continue to look into the deaths of Paul and Maggie Murdaugh, SLED has reopened an investigation into the 2015 death of a teen. South Carolina Law Enforcement Division has opened an investigation into the death of Stephen Smith, based off information gathered during the course of the Murdaugh murder case. Smith was found dead in the middle of a Hampton County road back in 2015. No arrests were ever made.
And they said he was shot in the head. And then it turned out it was a hit and run, and then he was beat up, and so the story just kept changing. I just couldn't believe it, but when they told me hit and run, I said that's impossible, because Stephen wouldn't have been walking in the road to start with. He would have cut through the woods. He would not have been in the highway.
Now, SLED has not said what information was gathered or how it relates to the Murdaughs. Back to you.
Yeah. So, again, that's a speculation warning deal because there's lots being said about.
But this is part of the reason also because I think there was a private investigator that was hired. Well, in the Mallory Beach case to look into some stuff that kind of started uncovering a whole shitload of bad things. But in Stephen's case, he just had, if I know it correctly, he just had a really determined SLED officer who took over the case, who was just like, none of this makes any sense. Like,
right.
Double checked and triple checked with different coroners or what do they call the people that do the test? Pathologists or whatever. Yeah, the MDs.
Yeah, the pathologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, the answers that he was getting back, they were just like, that's not a hit and run. Like, it really, like, the injuries don't make sense. Like,
they do not. No, they do not. And then they were trying to say that, he was walking down the road and a semi must have gone by and clipped him or something, or a vehicle came by and clipped him. It's like, oh my God, people.
And
I'm Chef Alita Solomon, and today we're cooking with Hunt's Heirloom tomatoes. Chicken.
And breaking right now.
There we go. So what was that, Mexi?
Yeah, I don't believe that, because like the guy who even called him in, like called in the 911 call to report a person lying in the middle of the road, called because he was concerned. He was like, there's this kid. He was in a big trailer. He saw him. He's visible.
Yeah, he was afraid to stop, thinking someone might.
Yeah, and I mean, nobody would just be walking in the middle of the road like that. Like,
hell no. And his shoes were still on, which is literally one of the first signs. Is very seldom do people keep their shoes on.
Yeah,
and they get knocked literally out of their shoes.
Yeah. You see a lot more broken bones.
Yeah, he only had a head injury and a dislocated shoulder, right? Yeah. Unreal.
South Carolina authorities have released 911 audio in the Murdaugh murders mystery.
And are they breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son.
Riley, what can you tell us?
These calls, it's about 8 minutes of audio. You heard just a snippet a second ago. These calls are when Alex Murdaugh called authorities. Take a listen.
I need the police to answer immediately. My wife and child shot badly.
Is he moving at all, your son? I know you said that she was shot, but what about your son?
Nobody. They're not. Neither one of them moving.
Now, during the calls, Murdaugh is breathless and distraught. At different points in the call, you can even hear him sobbing. This all happened June 7th. Investigators say Maggie and Paul Murdaugh died from multiple gunshot wounds. There have been no arrests nor suspects identified. Shannon, back to you.
Yeah. So September 4th, here's another interesting little tidbit about Alec Murdaugh. So on September 4th, 2021, he was shot in the head while changing a tire in Hampton County. According to a family spokesman, SLED is investigating. He is hospitalized in Savannah and said to be conscious and speaking. So here we go.
Discover the new Lumbermax.
Oh my gosh, we've been waiting on this forever.
Sandy Smith wakes up every
HD 38. Now powered with an 800cc 27 horse.
Alec Murdaugh, whose wife and son were found shot to death in an unsolved case 3 months ago, was shot himself on a rural Hampton County road yesterday. Now the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division is releasing new information. SLED says Alec called 911 at around 1:30 on Saturday. He told a dispatcher he'd been shot on Old Salkehatchie Road near Varnville. We're told Murdaugh's gunshot wound was, quote, superficial. SLED personnel arrived on scene to investigate at around 3:40. They worked throughout the night collecting evidence, processing the crime scene, interviewing potential witnesses, and following up on potential leads.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my. And stop. So that was pretty interesting as well, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
As far as that goes, there ended up being charges laid on that. And oddly enough, it was pretty much against him. It sounds like it was very much a setup.
Drug charges that came after that. And
yeah.
That was there's so many dates, and
it's just unreal. Hello,
June
James. Good to see you.
2022 drug charges.
2022, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of reading it, I'm just kind of going through these little clips. It is such a windy story that it's really, really hard to explain everything. This is doing it really, really well as to what's been going on in the Murdaugh world. Yay?
Yay.
Yay. It's taken me forever to kind of wind myself through this maze.
It's just that there's a lot of names, a lot of people, a lot of, oh God, so many, moving parts, and it's stretched over a good enough amount of time that it's a lot to put together.
It really is. It really, really is. I mean, if I was to do a live on all of these, it would take forever. I would be sitting there for days trying to explain all of this shenanigans with the Murdaughs.
Wouldn't it be, James? Wouldn't a graph with a timeline be handy? I was thinking.
Yeah.
It would be. Someone should do that.
Right?
Yeah. And oh my God, that'd be even better.
In chronological order, you betcha.
And I do like color coding as well. That'd be awesome. So we can do that.
Oh, sorry. There we go. I wasn't trying to interrupt. Yeah. What a great idea. Chronological order.
Yeah.
Graph with the timeline.
No
pie charts.
I love pie charts though. Or not the pie charts. Yeah, they're the ones that
the circle with all the pie.
Yeah. No, I like the one where it's like the comparison circles, where it's like just two circles.
Yeah. Yay and nay.
I like the exactly, because that's how mine would be. Like, this is where it all went wrong. Go
right.
Like, yeah.
Okay, what have we got here? Airlifted. Let's check it out.
All new tonight, several new twists in the Murdaugh murder mystery. According to the New York Times, Alec Murdaugh was pushed out of his powerful law firm over claims he misused funds the day before he called 911 to say he'd been shot in the head. Now, according to the Times, a member of the firm said the amount was in the millions. All this as Murdaugh breaks his silence for the very first time since the killings of his wife and son. Tonight, the South Carolina murder mystery taking an unexpected turn. Alec Murdaugh, whose wife and son were brutally murdered in June, now for the first time breaking his silence, putting out a statement after
he is a big man, like a big man.
he says someone shot him this weekend. The murders of my wife and son have caused an incredibly difficult time in my life. I have made a lot of decisions that I truly regret. I'm resigning from my law firm and entering rehab after a long battle that has been exacerbated by these murders.
Okay, so about this part of it and his long battle, I've watched, a few different things on this, and one thing I heard consistently was there is no way that he could have been to court and be as sharp as he was if he had a long battle with opiates. He couldn't have done it and function.
What are they saying? 20 years?
20 years. A 20-year addiction.
I mean, some people are good like that.
Do you think you can have that kind of addiction and still be able to go to court and keep everything? I don't know. The people that I've seen on opiates, man, they're definitely not sharp.
I can't really. I know people make bad decisions, right? He made some pretty bad choices, so maybe he can hold it together. I don't know, but as far as I know for a long time that people were like, "Oh my God, pot smokers!" Like such a stigma.
Yeah,
you can smoke pot all day and go to work, be a teacher, be an astronaut. You
absolutely can, but not as soon as you start. And opiates are nothing like marijuana.
Right, yeah, but people have alcoholism, can still go to work. They do
while they're drunk?
High functioning things.
While they're drunk? I don't want my pilot.
Well, they'd be intoxicated, as far as BAC goes, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I know. I'm just throwing out. Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe he was that addicted. He was that good. I don't know. People do weird things.
Yeah. Anybody I've seen that was on opiates, they sleep. They're not sharp like tacks. They're dull like dirt.
I mean, how do we know he wasn't taking something else? And maybe, or a lot of people that deal in high things like that, they're probably just selling it. They don't usually take it for themselves.
Well, this is it. So I don't know why he'd need a rehab.
Is there actually, well, I was just about to ask, is there actually some sort of proof that he had those things in his system?
I have no idea. I just know he went to a rehab.
Because you can check yourself into a rehab and claim anything.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I cannot see him doing the kind of job he had to do on opiates or narcotics. So, but maybe, who knows? Maybe.
Maybe. It was a freaking great movie.
I'm immensely sorry to everyone I've hurt, including my family, friends, and colleagues. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division saying Alec Murdaugh himself called 911 shortly after 1:30 Saturday afternoon to report he'd been shot. He was airlifted to a hospital in Savannah, Georgia, with what authorities called a superficial gunshot wound to the head. He's out of the hospital tonight. We've learned he's checking himself into rehab. Back in June, Alec Murdaugh says he found his wife Maggie and their 22-year-old son Paul brutally murdered at the family's hunting lodge.
Are they breathing?
No, ma'am. My wife and my son.
And what is your name?
My name is Alex Murdoch. Please hurry. Neither one of them is moving.
Murdoch calling 911 after finding their bodies. No suspects have been named and no arrests have been made. Murdoch's brothers sat down with ABC News over the summer, asking for the public's help.
Do you think they will find who did this?
I would certainly hope so.
I hope so.
Now, we reached out to the law firm today, but have not yet heard back. We actually found its website and Facebook page are down. New York Times is also reporting the law firm reported Murdoch to the South Carolina bar. We also reached out to them to confirm they've not yet gotten back to us. Now, there's so much to unpack in this ongoing investigation, which is why
there is so much to unpack. So, yeah, whether he ever tested to have opiates in his hair, maybe that's why he took his shaved his head off.
Hold on, let me Google it. Did Alex Murdoch ever get tested?
Well, hello, Shauna. Good to see you, friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, James, he shaved his head for a while there when he went to jail, which I found interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Would be a wise move.
People use weird words. The purported medical records of embattled legal scion Alex Murdaugh show that the new suspended South Carolina lawyer tested positive for 2 types of drugs.
Okay.
Barbiturates and opiates.
Okay.
When doctors examined him after a roadside shooting that eventually left him facing a scad of criminal charges.
Well, look at that. Look at that. I honestly, unless he didn't do it actively at work, I didn't know how he'd be able, like I've seen people that have gone to work, but you can tell with them. Like, I think I was telling you earlier of someone that I had known, and oh my God, like she'd fall asleep at her freaking desk. Like, seriously, I didn't work with her. I knew someone who did, and she was in a government position. And yeah. Oh yeah. She literally was so messed up she'd fall asleep at her desk.
Shauna, do you know how to read those records? Like the value or the amount of a value that is found?
She's just so tired. Overworked, James.
It doesn't give a value for opiates. It just says positive for the value, but then there's like a flag. It just says like a exclamation mark. I've never in my life seen that. And then for barbiturate, it says positive, but it does have a comment that it's 433.73. I have no idea what any of that means.
Yeah, like as to what kind of, like, what the levels were?
Well, because I'm interested in knowing as well, because if that's the only time they tested him, I mean, you can't even, if he's never been tested before, you can't prove that he was using prior to that. Like, he could have just taken some shit to, ease his go, because he was planning on. Was he really planning on dying though? I know it was like a suicide. Was it murder by suicide? Right? Murder by suicide.
Yeah.
Is that
a suicide by murder?
Oh yeah, but
murder by suicide.
Well, because I feel like you're. Yes, everybody would think it would be a murder, but you're technically committing suicide. It's just by somebody else's hand. So murder by suicide.
Yeah,
Is that a
right.
thing? Uh, but
Exactly. I don't know, but I can't see
so
why
maybe if he
not.
just wanted to like ease the pain, maybe he just took some things. It says something about the records suggest a rapid drug screen on Murdaugh's urine contained the two aforementioned drugs, but did not contain cocaine, amphetamines, benzos, which is the type of tranquilizer drug contained in Valium or Xanax,
Okay.
or cannabis. So he was just positive for amphetamine and he's just positive for barbiturates and opiates, but nothing else.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what the levels mean, right? Because I don't know. I don't know.
Is that right, James? Like murder by suicide? What? I guess it would work.
I know, right?
Because Curtis, or what's his name? Curtis, right? Is his name Curtis? The guy that shot him?
I think so.
Yeah, like so
Yeah.
on his docket, it should be murder by suicide, right? And then on Murdaugh's, it'd be suicide by murder. I can't even. That's oh.
That's funny.
Guys, none of these are legal facts or advice. None of that. We're not quoting anybody. We're just
Speculation weekend.
making
Speculation Saturday. Let's check this out. This is about the stolen funds.
Breaking tonight, Alec Murdaugh's stolen funds investigation. SLED says they're looking into the allegations from his former law firm. They claim Murdaugh misappropriated funds. Back in June, he found the bodies of his wife and his son on their property in Colleton County. No word yet on any suspects. Well, this investigation dates back years, and there are a lot of layers tied to the Murdaugh family mystery, including a deadly boat crash and the unsolved case of a young man's body found on a Hampton County road. So we've compiled a timeline for you dating all the way back to 2015. You can check it out now on our website. That's WJCL.
So yeah, they went back a little ways there. Okay, so this should be interesting.
Practically Perfect PA provides world-class training, virtual events, and a bespoke community.
Hey, Lindsay.
We are following that breaking news from overnight, an arrest in connection to the roadside attack of Alec Murdaugh. Well, our Shannon Royster walks us through the new developments.
South Carolina authorities say they took 61-year-old Curtis Edward Smith into custody Tuesday. SLED says Alec Murdaugh told Smith to shoot and kill him. They say Murdaugh admitted to the scheme Monday, so Murdaugh's son could collect a $10 million life insurance policy. It was on September 4th when Murdaugh called 911 shortly after 1:30 in the afternoon to report that he had been shot on the side of a road. A family spokesperson said Murdaugh pulled off due to a low tire light, that a male driver.
So with that said, I did learn something about the kind of vehicle that he was driving. It sounds like his tires there's something about them being able to, oh, look what I just did. Something that makes it so his vehicle can travel quite a ways.
What? Because of the tires, or
because of these tires that he's got? Okay, wrong one. Yeah, due to these tires that he's got, like it sounds like they can travel quite a ways. Like maybe they don't fully deflate. I don't know quite how that works, but yeah.
Well, There's a reason you would want to do that. Why is there a reason you want to do that? So, like, you would do that if you're, like, in any kind of sandy situation. Like, if you just so happen to be lost in the Sahara Desert in your vehicle. You want to deflate your tires, because if not, you'll turn over millions of times.
Right.
But I thought they did that with the snow, too. Isn't there something similar you do that with snow?
Out here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we will put chains on our vehicles if we're going up and
I
down.
mean, I guess they make tires with, like, double, like, kind of layered stuff where...
Maybe they'll mention something about that type of tire. But I was watching it, and it was like on something on one of the news programs. So I don't know for sure. Maybe they'll say something in here. I do not know which broadcast maybe I wrote it down. Which broadcast I seen it from.
A blue pickup truck drove past him and then came back, asking if he was having car trouble. And that's when he was shot. He was airlifted to a hospital in Savannah with what authorities say was a superficial gunshot wound to the head. But the incident report released by the Hampton County Sheriff's Office initially checking the box, no visible injuries. Murdoch's team pushed back. They released new details about his injuries, saying he had entry and exit wounds, and his skull had been fractured, leading authorities to correct that report, now saying there were visible injuries. Murdoch's family has been the focus of national attention since the brutal...
Did you want me to rewind that?
I know. I mean, I was wondering, you could do that. You just be like, I didn't see any visible injuries. Actually, no. He had all of these things. Okay, we correct that. We're just going to change it.
Right? Sorry, my husband's got like a cold or something going on back there. He's like sharing it with a live stream.
Hope he gets better soon.
I know, right?
Unsolved murders of his wife, Maggie, and 22-year-old son, Paul, this past June.
Are they breathing?
No, ma'am. My wife and my son.
And what is your name?
My name is Alex Murdoch. Please hurry. Neither one of them's moving.
Murdoch called 911 after finding their bodies, both shot multiple times near the family's hunting lodge. His brothers spoke to ABC News at the time, saying their brother is searching for answers.
Is willing and still is willing to do anything that's asked of him. He wants this solved.
Just one day before Alex Murdoch said he was shot, the law firm that his family spent decades building announced it had reported to law enforcement and the state bar that Alec had stolen money from the firm. The South Carolina Supreme Court suspended his license.
As our Shannon Royster reporting, here's another look now at the suspect. Police say this is Curtis Smith, and he's also facing weapons.
So Curtis Smith is also like a family friend, is he not?
Yeah, they've apparently been friends for years.
Smith is transferred.
Murdoch was his lawyer on a case for some kind of accident that he had suffered, like a car accident, maybe, like he got hit, or I'm not sure.
Attorneys representing Alex Murdaugh issued a statement that Murdaugh has battled opiate addiction for 20 years and Smith was one of his dealers. Smith appears on the 15th of 2021. Smith appears via video conference in Colleton County Court for the charge of distribution of methamphetamine. Because it was his first offense, he was able to post a $5,000 bond. Looks like he went back to court on November 8th. SLED announces. Okay, so now this is Gloria. Alex Murdaugh is named the chief defendant in a wrongful death suit filed by the sons of longtime Murdaugh housekeeper and nanny Gloria Sattersfield. She passed away in 2008. 2018.
And breaking news among all of this, SLED announcing late this afternoon they're opening an investigation into the 2018 death of the Murdaugh family housekeeper. Gloria Satterfield was the family's housekeeper for over 2 decades. Court documents indicate she died in 2018 after a trip and fall accident in the Murdaugh home. In a letter to SLED, the Hampton County coroner believes there are inconsistencies with the manner of her death. As a result of that letter, SLED looking into her death and the handling of her estate.
I'm Chef Lena Solomon, and I'm going to tell you what you can cook with Hunt's Heirloom tomatoes.
I never knew what it would be like to go through something like this.
911, where's your emergency? Please fire EMS. Hello?
February 24th, 2019, the night that put the Murdaughs back in the spotlight and changed the Beach family's life forever.
Please send someone. No, I'm calling. I'm calling, okay?
Investigators say Paul Murdaugh was driving a boat under the influence with 5 other teenagers, including Beach, when he crashed into a bridge near Paris Island.
5 of us are on the bank, but we're missing one person.
It's going way too fast.
But I don't even know. I finally got to the point I grabbed my girlfriend and put her in my lap in the bottom of the boat and was holding on with my eyes closed. The next thing I know, I'm in the water.
Beach was gone.
Bro, you smiling like you're funny.
Sit down.
My girlfriend, go.
Yeah.
He wasn't
That's
issued a
actually
field
the
sobriety
call I was
test,
looking for the other day.
I'm sorry?
That's actually the 911 call I was looking for the other day. And like, I couldn't listen to the whole thing. It was like really sad hearing him call his parents.
Oh, yeah, it very much was. Yeah, I mean, they even stopped. Paul could go get some more grog into him. And then said he was the only one that would be driving that boat. He wouldn't let any of the sober ones. So it ended up being pretty nasty.
Or did he ever spend a night in jail?
You all know Alec Murdaugh?
Oh, yeah, I know that name.
That's his son.
So driving the boat.
Good luck.
Authority.
Well said, eh? Good luck.
Yeah, that's exactly the one that I was up where he was like, you know his son?
Yeah. Yeah, just good luck. Unreal. It
says a lot about that family. Yeah. It says a lot about that family.
It really does, friend. Like, oh my God.
These search teams, friends, and family searched for an entire week. Until
911, where's your emergency?
We think we found her.
Beach's body was found on March 3rd, 2019, in a marsh near the Broad River boat landing. Later that month, her family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Alec and Buster Murdaugh, plus Parker's convenience store, who sold Paul the alcohol the night of the crash. April 18th, 2019, would have been Beach's 20th birthday.
It is hard. Yes, it's hard. There's moments that we have that things remind us of Mallory, and we break down at times.
It was also the day that Paul was indicted for boating under the influence causing death and 2 counts of boating under the influence causing great bodily injury. Paul pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Wow. That family. Isn't that something? So Alec Murdaugh turns himself into authorities, and then he is given a $20,000 bond for insurance fraud charges stemming from his attempted unaliving plot. Good Lord, Martha. September 23rd, 2021, SLED releases a statement saying agents have uncovered other potential crimes as part of their investigation into the double homicide of Paul and Maggie Murdaugh. The FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office of the District of South Carolina have been contacted. Let's take a boo.
Dégâts monstres. Bounty.
Oh my.
Well, breaking right now, tonight, involving the Murdaugh family mystery.
State investigators have called in the FBI and federal prosecutors after they say they've uncovered other potential crimes that warrant further investigation. The discovery was made while investigating the deaths of Paul and Maggie Murdaugh. There were no specifics on what those potential crimes were or who might be involved. We do know from previous reporting that based on information obtained during the killings, that investigators have already reopened the investigation into the death of Stephen Smith. Smith was found along a road in Hampton County in 2015. SLED Chief Mark Keel said in a statement, "Our agents remain committed to following the facts no matter where they lead us." The agency has a 24-hour tip line for anyone with information in any of these cases. That number is 803-896-2605.
Wow. Just wow. Let me out of here. Let me out of here.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. WJCL airs a special presentation, Murdaugh, Deceit and Death, or Death and Deceit, focusing on the investigations to date. So here is Curtis Edward Smith. Do you know much about him?
Well, he's a veteran. I do know that. He had an accident that took out 3 discs from his back. So he was like completely that's what Murdaugh was his lawyer for suing whoever caused that accident. But then after that, he just said that his story, because he's done a couple interviews, he just says that he keeps busy doing odd jobs.
Right.
And he has received several checks from Alec. For usually no more than $10,000, but the last one that he got, which was, what was it, like a week and a half, 2 weeks before the actual murder of Maggie and Paul. He gave him like $22,000 or something.
Oh, is that right, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing that that is unusual is that that reward offer, $100,000, but it had an expiry date. I've never heard of a reward with an expiry date.
I'm laughing because I thought about Jim Terry, and I know that name's not allowed, but I just because he talked about that stuff all the time, and I never heard that. So that's the only reason I laughed, because I was like, oh,
yeah.
Jim Terry, yeah.
Oh my God, unreal. Oh, his name's allowed. I just don't work with them, that's all. But other than that, it's good.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. Cool.
So maybe we'll listen to what Curtis Edward Smith has had to say, because honestly, I have not seen anything that he has done yet. So let's take a boo.
Dégâts monstres. Bounty.
You feel betrayed.
I consider you one of my best friends. You're like a brother to me.
That so-called brother is Alec Murdaugh. South Carolina authorities say he asked Curtis Smith to shoot and kill him September 4th. The plan, according to SLED, to help Murdaugh's surviving son Buster collect a $10 million life insurance policy. But it didn't work. Instead, Murdaugh told SLED what happened, so they arrested both of them. But where's the connection between the two? Through court records, we found out Murdaugh represented Smith in a personal injury lawsuit back in 2010.
Had to have 3 discs removed out the back and got rods and screws in every place of them. It's not fun.
Smith says injuries from a logging accident left him permanently disabled.
Talk to me about the pain.
Oh, it's an everyday thing. I mean, it's every day. I know it's there all day long.
Court documents indicate Smith took OxyContin for that pain, but fast forward to this month. Authorities charged Smith with distribution of meth and possession of marijuana, a drug parallel to what unfolded during Murdaugh's bond hearing.
If anyone wants to see the face of what opioid addiction does, you're looking at it.
In the days after the shooting, Murdaugh said he checked himself into rehab for substance abuse.
Is Alex somebody that you cared about?
Yeah, I say like a brother to me. I'd have done anything in the world for him, almost anyway. It's crushing to know that evidently I mean nothing to nobody, especially him.
Curtis says he feels betrayed.
Do you see the truth out there? Do you see the truth coming forward in this case?
I hope that when it's all said and done, that everybody will wind up being exactly what it's supposed to be.
So what do you think of that?
I don't know what that means, because does he think like he's innocent of things? I know he at some point he says that he was like set up or something,
right?
Which doesn't make sense. How were you set up?
Yeah,
Why
I think he's
paying you so much money. Like, what do you mean it's a
yeah,
setup?
yeah. He's I don't know. He's confusing that guy.
Unless he just totally turned against him, and that's what he's about to drop the bombshell on the witness stand.
Oh, that could be. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There is so much to this case. Like, the rabbit holes are insane. Absolutely insane.
So somebody asked a question about drugs earlier. So I went in, I totally forgot that I had this, but I went in, got my handy dandy drug book that tells you, sorry, I don't mean to keep saying that word, but it literally gives you like all the straight facts about all sorts of things. So he's probably definitely on the heroin and a barbiturate, which would be a sedative. But which one? Quaaludes?
I can see him like I don't know what it's like there, but it seems like.
Do people even have Quaaludes available anymore? Quays?
I have no idea. I
Quails?
don't even know it.
You don't know what that is?
A Quaalude?
Yeah.
No. I know it's a pill
to
or
be honest,
something,
I don't
but
really know what it is either. I'm just reading up on it, but it was something that was super popular way back in the day. You know, the Ravens.
Well, I've heard of it, but that is one thing. Like, for a lot of the hard drugs, I didn't try a lot of them. You know, I had my personal favorites.
Oh, Cheech and Chong.
But there's a Cheech and Chong, absolutely favorites. Absolutely. No, and that's the thing, James. Not the best witness. Exactly, the 60s. Yeah. Oh my word. Oh my poor hubby, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh, and there's Chong there. I cannot help it. This guy, Chong. I mean, we have to check and see if the guy's breathing sometimes.
Tonight, newly released medical records are revealing the extent of Murdoch's injuries from his assisted suicide attempt last month. Our Brooke Butler joins us now in the studio. Brooke, what did the records show?
Well, Dale, when Murdoch had his first bond hearing back in September, many raised an eyebrow when no injury was visible on the back of his head. But these medical records show that Murdoch did suffer a gunshot wound.
His skull was fractured. He had a brain bleed, and he was put in ICU because his life was in danger as a result of being shot.
I don't recognize him with his eyes open.
In the head.
Attorney Dick Harpootli assisting to ABC News Friday morning. His client, Alec Murdoch, did in fact suffer serious injuries as a result of his botched assisted suicide scheme last month.
He was medevaced to the Savannah Hospital where they did a CAT scan, skull fracture, bullet wound, brain bleed, oxygen got into the brain. They had to put him in ICU. They don't put people in intensive care units these days or anytime unless they need intensive care.
Medical records provided to WJCL by a spokesperson for the Murdoch family.
Yeah, that's about all he's missing is that bushy mustache. Maybe a little bit better tan.
Show Alec Murdoch tested positive for barbiturates as well as opioids when he arrived at Memorial Health in Savannah for treatment.
He has a long-term Oxycontin opiate addiction, which drove, well, I don't know what drove him, but it put him in a position where he did these stupid, illegal things.
You may remember Curtis, aka Eddie Smith, who Harpootlian claims was Alec's drug dealer, is the one accused of helping Murdoch attempt suicide so his surviving son Buster could collect a $10 million life insurance policy.
He met with Smith on the side of the road, gave him the gun, said, "I'm going to look like I broke down, drive by and shoot me," which is exactly what Smith did.
But Smith tells a different story. According to the New York Times, Smith told them he refused to shoot Murdoch in the head that day. He said when he refused, quote, Mr. Murdoch moved as if he was going to shoot himself in the head. Mr. Smith grabbed his arm and twisted it behind his back. The gun went off, end quote. That's a claim Murdoch's attorneys deny.
Well, that's interesting, though.
Yeah, the way that guy told his story made it sound like the hospital gave him all those injuries. He was like, he was airlifted, got to the hospital, and he got a bullet wound and a skull fracture. You're like, wow, what they do to him.
Oh, my word. Oh, my word.
Charmin Ultra Soft is softer than ever, and you can use less. It's worth it.
Hampton County 911, where's your emergency?
Yes, we're on Salcahatchee Road, and there is a man on the side of the road with blood all over him, and he's waving his hands.
He just laying there waving his hands around?
He looks fine, but it kind of looks like a setup.
She sounded condescending.
Oh, I don't blame you. What area?
Shit. She's like, oh, he was
What's
just
that, friend?
standing in the street waving his hands around.
Well, he doesn't seem too stressed out about the whole thing, does he? Like it's like, oh, okay, you're pretty laid back for getting like that happened to you.
Yeah, you're like, you're calling 911, ma'am. Is this an emergency or not?
Right? Oh my God.
The Salcahatchee Road are you on?
All I can tell you is we're like halfway down Salcahatchee Road.
Okay, all right. And this was shortly after you turned off of Walterboro, come across Walterboro Highway, or?
Coming to Netflix soon, James.
Okay, because I'm trying to pull up a location as well on your phone.
I know that we bared to the left. There's what's called a Sylvester Road.
Yes, Sylvester Road.
Okay, when you bear to the left there,
Uh-huh.
He's probably
Okay, about 2 miles from the Sylvester Road Bear-Off?
Roughly, yeah.
Roughly.
Hello, Miss Dandy.
Okay, all right. Well, let me get my deputies in that area to see what's going on. Could you give me a description of that male?
I'm gonna say he's probably in his 40s.
Okay.
He's
That's
not
generous.
very large, but he's kind of heavy set.
Okay.
White hair, and it's a black, some kind of SUV, like a smaller Kia SUV or something.
Yeah. And it stopped where he's at?
So what?
You said that SUV is stopped where he's at?
I couldn't understand what you said.
The SUV is right where he's at as well?
He's pulled over on the side of the road. There's no damage to the SUV. He's
Mhm.
got the caution lights on.
Okay.
And the trunk of it was open.
Okay. All right. Well, let me get my deputies headed to that area. What's your name and a good contact number for you? Bill, I have my deputies headed out that way, okay? All right. So thank you. No problem.
Bye-bye. Did anywhere in that description of what that man, it was pretty descriptive, right?
Mm-hmm.
About 40, not heavy set, big, white. Did he ever mention that he was bleeding out of his head?
That's exactly right. Oh my God.
Because I know if I called 911 for somebody just waving their hands like a maniac on the side of the road and they were bleeding, that's probably something that I would mention. You can't miss him. You'd be like, you can't miss him. He's a little big white guy on the side of the road. He's bleeding.
Yeah.
You
Right?
can't miss him.
Exactly. Good Lord. Oh my word.
You can't
So
make
the
some of this stuff
estate-
up. What did you call it
No.
the other day? Gothic? What was it? Like Southern Gothic or something. It was beautiful.
It's like, oh my word.
Gothic
So then
drama.
we got Gloria here, and what he did with this family was just brilliant. Unreal. What
breaking news.
So kind of what he pulls here is another thing that just tells you how grim of a person this is.
Lawyers for the estate of Gloria Satterfield say they've reached a settlement with Palmetto State Bank. Now, Gloria, she worked as the housekeeper for former Low Country attorney Alec Murdaugh for years. Now, she died after falling at the Murdaugh home. Murdaugh is charged with obtaining property under false pretenses. SLED says he stole over $3 million in insurance payments meant for Gloria's sons. A joint statement from the family and the bank reads in part, quote, although Palmetto State Bank never handled the settlement funds, nor was it responsible for the alleged actions of Alec Murdaugh, Palmetto State Bank and its board of directors made the business decision to prioritize ending this matter for the mutual benefit of Miss Satterfield's sons, its customers and shareholders, and the Hampton community at large, end quote.
Isn't that something? So then you've got him over here. He starts collecting charges.
Suspended Low Country attorney Alec Murdaugh facing nearly 30 new criminal counts. The indictments were announced by South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson today. Included in the charges, breach of trust with fraudulent intent, money laundering, computer crimes, forgery. Murdaugh accused of defrauding nearly $5 million. He also faces charges in a failed suicide plot. The deaths of his wife and son earlier this year remain unsolved. The attorneys for the family Murdaugh's former housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, are releasing a statement on the new charges. It says in part, we'll entrust a judge or jury to let us know when the Satterfields have received their full cup of justice, not Alec Murdaugh or his attorneys.
I like the language, like the word usage that they use.
It's time for a convergence of tools, endpoints, and...
Sorry, what was that, friend?
I like the verbiage that people are using around this case. Like, it's very...
Yeah, eloquent. Would that be the right way to put it?
Very, yeah. I don't know, just vocabulary that I don't hear every day. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So let's see here. Bank helped Murdaugh. Lawsuit bank helped Murdaugh. December 13th, 2021, Alex Murdaugh is given a $7 million bond for charges stemming from the State Carolina grand jury indictments. So this is basically dealing with the financial side of his cases. He tries to get his bond lowered here.
What does he have? Like 99 different counts or something? Like,
oh, so many, right? So they've got the property up for sale now. I don't know who will buy it, but it is up for sale.
I wouldn't touch it.
Right?
Mm-mm. Yo, you guys want to hear something crazy though? Because like,
yes,
let's all pretend that Alex Murdaugh wasn't in the trouble that he is now, right? And everything's all golden. He's good. And he's like, hey, I'm going to sell my property.
Yeah.
Do you know on paper what the revenue on that would have been? Because he bought it from his buddy Bowler, the guy that signed power of attorney to him. He bought that property on Moselle for $5. $5.
I heard something about that.
And now he's selling it for $4 million. Well, it's being sold. He's not selling it. It's being sold for $4 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a peek at this. There's still another case I want to go through. So that stuff basically it's basically all the financial charges, and there are many, as you could see as I was scrolling, but I thought I'd get back to this particular case and kind of go from here. This one's only 58 seconds.
Charmin Ultra Soft est plus doux que jamais. Et on peut en utiliser moins. Ça vaut le coup.
Oh, no.
Well, that was a different kind of commercial. No one's even
Canada, man. There's all those little footprints, right? Let's stop that right there. So these ones would be like from the cops, pretty much. They've got those ones that are kind of riveted, like.
It looks like they would be what, sergeant, captain?
I have
They got a weird tread on them. They remind me of like military badges.
Yeah, yeah, but there's not different shoes for different ranks, is there?
No, my God.
Okay,
no.
I was like,
I would hope that they're not using their money, their appropriated funds for people's custom shoes.
I was like, what?
Oh, they're all standard.
Okay. And then there's these ones that they are saying were from the flip-flops.
Yeah.
And if a person does take the time, Mexi pointed this out earlier, kind of watch, first off, they're flat-footed, which I had thought about earlier. What I didn't think about earlier was that these are not staggered properly.
No, and those three right there all going the same direction.
Well, these two are going this way.
And
this one's going that way. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure. And then above, up here, it's like they're all kind of wonky.
Mm-hmm.
So
they don't look right, do they? They look like
they look a little odd. They do look a little odd. The only thing that I could possibly say is if she started running and ended up in this area.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I find the positioning very unusual.
Well, that's exactly why we we threw it up on the big screen yesterday and we were looking at it because we were just like, I was trying to make it make sense. We were trying to come up with scenarios like, what is the purpose for these footprints the way they are? Those two right there at the end where they just like both, they
Stand
literally
side by side?
stop. Yeah, they
Yeah.
literally stop. So like the way the detective described it, she was like, yeah, we followed them all the way down and they just stopped. Like,
yeah.
What? You just don't, people don't just like stop like you. I don't know. If it's casual, should I say, like you just don't stop and then turn around. Like, what were you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
There's yeah, you try to line them up. They don't. You're like, where's this step going, leading into that one, and then going. Here's I don't. And it could be a struggle, maybe, like, some kind of struggle situation where all of a sudden you do see some kind of scrapes, like right kind of where your mouse is over to the right. There's like this weird, like long, it looks a little bit too smooth, but it's like a long kind of scrape. You know when you're wearing flip-flops and sometimes your flip-flops don't flip-flop with you?
Yeah.
They get stuck underneath your toes, like the front part, and then you end up like almost tripping over your
Exactly. Yeah.
I hate flip-flops. They're dangerous. But they're also very specific and like people walks a certain way with them on, and you can kind of maybe make an assumption where there's like a struggle going on where her flip-flops are getting like caught. But if there is a struggle, you would also lose your flip-flops. I would
Yeah,
think,
you
like,
would.
easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in soft ground like this.
So there was like a comment about her possibly being out there because of the dogs getting loose on the chickens, or the chickens getting loose and the dogs getting into them, or something, some kind of animal situation.
Animal related situation. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So I mean, that could be something similar where you're trying to get your dog back to.
So
I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't. These feet, those steps right there, like right up at the top where they just cross over the other footprints, that doesn't make sense. There's just a lot of overlay.
Yeah.
It's sloppy.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna turn this back on and see if we get to see any more of this. Okay. Oh, but
that's what I thought too, Perry. Like somebody was just stamping them on there, not actually wearing them.
Okay, what?
The flip-flops.
These are not the flip-flops. They're not trying to say these are the flip-flops, are they?
I mean, that's kind of what they were talking about on.
So there's no mud and there's no blood. Those are very cool.
Danny's like, what are you talking about? Welcome, Danny. We're talking about
hello.
The Murdochs and some crime scene photos and like just I don't know, things about the Murdochs, like the crime scene specifically.
So these are supposed to be the ones that made these tracks.
At least that's what the questioning was leading to. I'm not, like that's what it was implying. I'm not, but those are supposedly the shoes she had on.
So my other question would be, so what is this like? I can't remember the material, but it's very close to a clay. Is that what it is? Like, let's see here again. Okay, I'm going to go back again too, because how come these buckets are not overflowing with water if there's all this water down here? Like, what is this?
Those supposed to be blood stains, and I was curious as to exactly where those were.
Does that help or?
No, because when I saw it earlier, I was like, I need to figure out where these are.
Yeah. Okay, so where is all this freaking
I
water
think
coming
those
from?
might be over by. I need to take like a look at the property, like the actual aerial view.
Yeah.
To see, but
Get a better, yeah.
I think it might be over by Maggie.
Huh. Do you think these could be those legs?
Them skinny McGee legs.
Right?
Them skinny McGee's. I have a picture to show you guys.
So this is
Exhibit A.
printed it.
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A.
I guess we should maybe. So there was a
Okay,
couple
and then
of.
I wanted to stop here. I want to stop here for a second. So, okay. How did he see both of them when it was pitch black?
Let's see if
I don't understand.
Didn't I did take a picture of that. Trying to understand the layout.
Okay. Let me pause that. Did you have something you wanted to show?
Yeah, because I want to check on that layout actually that you're talking about, that picture. I'll close that one out for right now.
There you go.
So we're having questions about this layout and according to how they were found. But this isn't according to how they were found, but there's a picture that shows it. Where is? I'll put that over there. Drone. And I just wanted to show this drone footage just so kind of everybody gets an idea of what. There's one that doesn't play right.
I miss James. Have a good night, James. So while we're looking at this, what do you guys think of those shoes being, those flip-flops being clean that Maggie was supposed to be wearing?
And those shoes that she unboxed, that lady unboxed on the stand, were those supposed to be Alec's shoes or Paul's? Those
You know what? I don't know for
ones?
sure now that you think, yeah. I ended up missing quite a bit of, I didn't get to see it all. When you're streaming, you end up doing this and that and the other thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Busy.
Do you want me to make that a full screen, Mexi? And then, is that better?
Yeah, I mean, I'll still have to keep it like this just because trying to figure something out.
I just gave them a full view instead of us having our. Okay, yeah. So he was under that canopy.
And can we do oh gosh. Coming back up. I mean, that's the entrance of the property.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be hard for emergency. I'm just trying to think devil's advocate, but that would be hard for emergency service people to see.
So he would have came straight off that other road there on the left side. Upper left.
Just go because the house is over this way, like down this road and then straight back away from my arrow. But I would think that he would have came down this way maybe, or maybe even this way. But if he came this way, Paul would have been underneath this little part of the shed right there. Like there's like a little storage room right there.
Yeah.
And then Maggie would have been kind of in front of this hanger, like in the structure, right, kind of like in the middle almost, just say, of that solid piece.
Mm-hmm.
So if he came in
this,
if he did come this way, he could see them both, but he would have to have pulled up really close with the light.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't be able to say like, "Oh, I saw my son." It's his cranium was out.
Yeah, I think all he said was basically that he pulled in and that he's seen them.
Yeah.
So even from that way, because of the direction that Paul fell, dark out, I still question.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like, how would you, unless you ran up to them, and I'm sure once he did approach, you would really confirm, but do they have lights out here? I'm guessing they have probably some kind of
They said no.
They don't have lighting? Like
no lighting. No.
So
that was part of the problem that the team had. You know, like how the that one lawyer was asking them, you know, couldn't you see this or couldn't you? And they're like, no. Well, then you could have been walking on their footprints. You could have been doing that.
Wow. So you're just...
Yeah, there was no light out there.
Wow, that's kind of weird for people that have kennels and...
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they don't need it.
Actually, I want to actually look at that again because that's the hanger. She would have been right around here, and he's under here somewhere.
Yeah.
And she's... He wouldn't have seen, like, there's just in either direction, whether he came down this way, he would have seen her for sure, but definitely not him. And if he came in this way, he still would have had to walk up on him.
Yeah. And he does quite clearly say that I pulled up and I could see them.
He's like, I could see my boy, his brains. Sorry, graphic, but his cranium was on the outside, not where it should have been.
Yeah, it was located in the wrong spot. Yeah. He's I don't know. He's got my spidey senses tingling. And I don't know about his buddy there that he played with on the highway, like shoot me and I want to do this. I have a funny feeling he did not want to end his life. I think he wanted more than anything just to show that maybe there was someone after the family. I think that's all that was. I
What
think
was
he
the
probably
22 grand for then?
to do it. Just to plain old do it. Make sure you don't off me. And like, hell
Wow.
no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Hey, welcome back, Sunshine. Good to see you, friend. Oh, did you? On Twitter. I'll take a boo. So yeah, I don't know.
There was a couple of things. I don't know if oh, James is gone. Yeah, James is gone. But if anyone knows about shotguns specifically, so I was reading something about 2 of the wounds that Paul had.
Thank you, Sunshine. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Tons and tons. Tons
Hi,
and
Sunny.
tons.
And they sound like they were 2 different types of ammunition.
Yes. 2 different guns, 2 different.
Well, right, because there is 2 different guns. So are they?
Yeah. One was a shotgun and one was more like, I think it was a 22, but it was like a high-powered 22. Like it's the shotgun. I've seen a shotgun wound, and I have seen a like a mushroom cap bullet wound. The damage is not even comparable. The 22, just a little tiny hole. The shotgun, well, big, massive
All the way to the top.
chunk.
Hold on.
So, and it was the son that the shotgun was used on. A something 300, that gun was called.
This is for Paul.
Yeah.
And they, on the first wound, they say it was, they say buckshot a couple times.
Yep. Yep.
An open shot cup or wad was visible at the exit point under the left arm.
Yeah, that's so bizarre. That
But
is
then
so bizarre.
On the second wound, it says this shot was unlike the first wound. And this wound was produced by a shot shell of small shot, commonly referred to as bird shot, BB shot, or chill shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this was a buckshot. So just
so what it's just basically it is they could very well, they were big hunters. They probably made their own ammunition. A lot of people do it. They get gunpowder. They get whatever they're going to put in it, buckshot, BBs, whatever the hell, and they make the bullet. So it doesn't so much matter what was inside, that it was 2 different things. It again is going to be like other guns. Well, look, you can load more than one. Hey, you can the same exact. Okay, here we go. Buckshot is a big hole that is strong, round, and will have shrapnel.
Right.
Birdshot is for small, like duck hunting.
Okay.
Thank
See,
you.
okay, that makes sense. Because I was like, you say, oh, it matters because like they would leave a different kind of wound. That's not like what they were.
Yeah.
Unlike like dramatic,
Oh
like
my God.
unlike the first, this one was fatal. It was bad. It was yeah, not. I mean, it's like he was standing and walking towards a door for like at least a couple seconds after the first shot, but then the second.
So, Sunshine, they can put the same.
Yeah, that was
How do
my
I put this?
Is that for the same weapon? So, like, you can use 2 different style ammunition for the same weapon? That I guess that would be my question. Yeah.
Okay. My family hunted. I personally didn't. But I did see them do a bunch of, they made all sorts of bullets.
It's interesting. But I mean, that would still, if it was a shotgun, it would make sense because then he was just maybe digging into a pocket and like loading whatever he was taking out into. But it could also show some kind of, let's pretend Murdaugh did do this. He would say, well, if you put 2 different style ammunition out there on one person and you're already using 2 different guns, you kind of throw in a whole bunch of suspicion and doubt right there. That's like reasonable doubt.
In my opinion, he was up close because the lawyer said the back of his head was gone. Looking at her wounds, in my opinion, she was running away. That's exactly how I envisioned it.
For Margaret?
He was close and she was running. And that's exactly how my mind sees it. But
and
yeah,
that's kind of how these I did have questions about that because it almost sounds like from the way the trajectory of the wounds were, how they entered and how they exited, and on the side, it was like the person shot them and then kept walking up on them, shooting.
Yes.
And then the other gunshots went to the leg, and the fourth one, I don't know if they numbered those numerically, but I'm assuming yeah.
So, and no, 2 different weapons. Shot G. Yeah, is for close deer hunting kind of thing. And then, yeah, exactly. But if I remember correctly, they can put more than one type of, I don't know what the phrasing is, but they can put more than one thing in a shotgun shell, if I remember correctly.
And I was trying to, because right before we went live, I was
you see, that's awesome. Born and raised in Kentucky, hunting since I could walk.
I was trying to put this
Awesome.
together because the first one says that the gunshot atomically went from the left of the torso, grazing, but then went up towards the left breast, lower left jaw, face, and ear. But it was no apparent exit located, which was terminal. The second one was to the wrist, so like I could probably see that falling, right? Just shooting wildly. And she gets hit in the left thigh, downward and at a left to right angle. And then there's a gunshot to the back of the head, and then a gunshot to the abdomen from the right to the left. So it was on the right side of the abdomen to left from back, potentially fatal but not immediate. Exit wound on lower left side of back. This wound contains stippling. There's 2 wounds that contain stippling. But don't they place her face down? Did they place her face down on the scene?
I'm not sure about that, to be honest with you. I don't think I've read yet anywhere where they give her positioning, not like they do with Hello, Connor. Good to see you, friend.
The only reason I say is because a lot of the entry wounds that they're describing are from the front and exiting the back of the leg.
Hmm.
Sorry about the scrolling, guys. Sorry about the scrolling.
There
They
we go.
place her face down with one arm under her and the other on her towards her face. Is that
Okay.
right?
That's kind of the way it looks to me, but I don't know. I don't know that
Yeah.
I would be able to tell by looking at this.
Oh no. It's curious. This is kind of like the first time I've actually kind of read through this sanction, which is a whole bunch of pages. I'm probably going to read the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely. I've started.
I
I've been
do now.
highlighting away.
I'm going to read the whole thing.
Okay. Good to go?
Yeah, I'm good.
All righty. So this is if I can get in here, this is oh, there we go. Okay, how come I got no volume? There we go.
I hate to have to do this.
I
but
understand.
yeah.
I totally
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
So you don't have any problem
Yeah.
with it.
So just start at the top. Take your time.
Like when I came back here, I mean, I pulled up and I could see them, and I knew something was bad. I ran out. I knew it was really bad. My boy over there, I could see it was.
I'm sorry.
And I could see his brain on. And I ran over to Maggie, and actually, I think I tried to turn Paul over first. I tried to turn him over, and I don't know. I figured it out. His cell phone popped out of his pocket. I started to try to do something with it, thinking maybe, but then I put it back down really quickly. Then I went to my wife, and I could see.
Did you touch Maggie at all?
I did. I touched them both.
Okay.
I tried to I tried to do it as limited as possible, but I tried to take their pulse on both of them. And, I called 911.
So does that still not seem odd? Like he's got no blood on him and he was
I
trying to
mean,
move
it's
them?
odd. Yeah, it's odd, but
Is that blood though on his khakis on the right leg?
that stain spot thing.
Can you see? I don't know if anyone can see mine.
Yeah, I can't see it because of your trigger warning.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So down here. Can you do that with your fingers? No. That almost looks discolored.
I don't know. I'm gonna take a picture of that and I was gonna blow that up later on the big screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much right away, and she was very good.
That's a weird comment. She was very good. Did everyone call her?
She was
Good
very
job.
good.
Good job. Let's be good.
I talked to her. I told her I was going to get off the phone to call some family members. I did that.
What family members did you call?
I called my brother Randy, and I called my brother John, and I tried to call a little boy, real good friend that's right around the corner from here, but I didn't get him.
Gross.
What all was around Paul when you walked up?
Blood.
Anything else?
I mean, there were some body things, yes, sir.
I mean, like any other evidence? I know you said the phone fell out the pocket, but did you see anything else that didn't belong or shouldn't belong or that wasn't part of Paul?
No, sir, not. No, sir.
How about Maggie?
No, sir.
You didn't see anything around them? What made you come out here tonight?
I went to, my mom's a late stage Alzheimer's patient. My dad's in the hospital. My mom gets anxious when she does. I went to check on them and Maggie. Maggie's a dog lover, and she fools with the dogs. And I knew she'd gone to the kennel. I was at the house. I left the house and went to my mom's for just a little while. Tried to call her when I left. Texted her, no response. When I got back to the house was obviously nobody was in there. So I figured they're still up here fooling around. Paul was gonna be getting set up to plant. Our sunflower seeds got sprayed and died, and he was refiguring to plant the sunflower seeds. So I came back up here and I drove up and saw and called.
So, do you think that means that he could see them from the vehicle? That's the way I took it at first, but I don't know now.
No, I think he's but I am interested in knowing which direction actually from the house to
That he
which
drove.
did he go up the driveway and then made a left, or did he kind of go that back way and round around the other side of the field?
He'd probably go the shortest route if he was serious about.
So straight across the field then.
I think
Which
so,
would-
yeah.
Because
there is kind of a makeshift road through there, isn't there?
That's it didn't look like that. It didn't. Overview.
At the beginning, he said, when I came out. Came out of where? Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
I guess I can go look at Eric Allen's, but I don't want to. Here's a good picture, I suppose.
Okay.
Just
a picture of
it's decent enough. Just really quick. I'll just be really, really quick.
Yeah. Hard to go. I will.
So Just let me know as soon as you see it. So where that little the pink is, that's the house. So he could have gone around this way. And there is kind of like what looks like a road back there. Or you could have gone up the driveway and then this way. Or just cut across the field.
And I'm pretty sure it's not showing it in this picture, but I'm pretty sure there is like one that crisscrosses across. I'm pretty sure I seen it. I don't know if it was in that drone footage or.
Yeah, I know. Like it's on. I think it's on Eric Allen's. I just don't want to.
Yeah, that's all right.
Go.
That's all right. So yeah, I think that whichever one would be the shortest route which would be diagonal, I guess. I'm thinking. Okay, I'm thinking.
Had Maddie and Paul been arguing over anything?
No.
What was their relationship like?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. How about yours and Maggie's?
Wonderful. I mean, I'm sure we had little things here and there, but we had a wonderful marriage, wonderful relationship.
And yours and Paul's relationship?
As good as it could be.
Yeah, he shakes no.
How old was Paul?
Weird. He says verbally yes, but
22.
shakes his head no.
You know his date of birth?
I do. April 11th, 96 is his brother's. April 14th, 99 is Paul's.
How about, what's Maggie's full name?
Margaret Brandstetter Murdoch.
And her date of birth, sir?
September 15th, 1968.
Have y'all been having any problems out here? Trespassers, people breaking in?
None that I know of. The only thing what comes to my mind is my son Paul was in a boat wreck a couple years ago, and there's been he was charged with being arrested for being the driver. There's been a lot of negative publicity about that, and there's been a lot of people online just really vile stuff. But when Paul's out and about, I mean, people routinely, I don't think I know the full story, because I don't think they give it to me, but I mean, he's been punched and hit and just attacked a lot. So, but I mean, nothing like this.
Yeah. Any one person in particular or group of people?
I don't know.
That you could think of?
Not that I know, no, sir.
Has he, other than being assaulted, has he received any direct threats related to the boat accident?
Oh, yes. All the time. He gets
recently?
Yes, sir. I mean, he gets them all the time.
Okay.
He gets them.
Come on.
You mind if I open the door really quickly?
Go right ahead. Do what you need to do. So is there anybody that you can think of that we need to talk to tonight? Is there a name that comes to mind?
I mean, I can't tell you anybody that I'm overly suspicious of off the top of my head.
Okay.
I mean, this is such a stupid thing. I'm even embarrassed to say it, but it just didn't make any sense. I just hired a guy out here, and he wasn't cutting the mustard, but I hadn't told him this yet. Paul's been working with him a lot.
It's the most
He killed the sunflower seeds in our dove field just recently, which is why Paul was here doing this. He told Paul a story the other day about how when he was in high school.
Just gonna scooch up a little bit.
Where does he live?
I don't exactly know. Somewhere in in Bronson.
Okay. Do you have his phone number?
I do.
You got it with you, please, sir?
I do.
Okay. 8435.
Sometime last week. My son Paul actually, I really do not think, on all honesty, that it's him, but I know y'all got to check it out. But Paul was so taken aback by it that he sent, I'll find it, I got it on my phone. He recorded him saying bits and pieces of it.
Okay.
No.
Know of any direct threats from people on the boat?
I don't know of any direct threats between any of the people on the boat specifically, but I do think there's been a small amount of yip yap between a couple of them, but not recently.
Okay.
Most of this was stuff from people that Paul didn't really know.
Okay.
It was some people that he knew distantly, but more times than not, when I learned about it, it was somebody that he didn't know.
Okay.
In that situation, I think I've told Danny that before. I mean, Paul is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful kid. He can do almost anything. He gets along with almost anybody.
Do y'all store any weapons out here?
We don't store them, but they're frequently out here. I need to find out if there were any out here because I know there was a shotgun. There was a 12 gauge shotgun out here.
That's interesting.
12 gauge shotgun.
Yeah. That's definitely interesting. Let's see here. Yeah, very interesting.
I'll have to find out exactly when that was. I think it got put up, but I'm not positive.
What did that shotgun look like?
It was a camouflage. I want to say it was a Benelli or maybe a Beretta. I can't remember which brand it is. But I don't think it was out here recently. We probably have 20, 25.
That's a lot of guns.
Guns.
Yeah. Shotguns, rifles.
Pistols.
Any rifles?
Yes, sir.
What kind of rifles?
All kinds.
Yeah.
All kinds. I mean, you name it across the board, we have them.
Okay.
And I mean, all of them we have are, in a hunting room in our house.
Except the 12 gauge shotgun that might have been out there for whatever reason.
Right. And he's also missing that other one that he says was stolen. Yeah, the one that they say was stolen, which is awfully convenient.
For someone who's crying, wiping his nose, rubbing his he's not touching his face a lot, which
No.
doesn't. But I know that I'd be, if I was crying, tears would just be constantly.
Oh yeah,
like slowly,
black
maybe
and
become calm, but they'd still be coming.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I don't know. He's a different person than I am, but I
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
losing my absolute shit if I just found my son and my partner the way he just did. I mean, it would be like put me in a hospital.
Well, we just like, I mean, because at this point, this is, what time is that? 1:19 in the morning.
Yeah.
He called the cops around 10.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he sounded like he was crying on that call.
He really did, yeah.
Your eyes swell up,
Yeah.
they get red, your nose gets red, your cheeks get red.
Yeah.
Like
That's true. Yeah.
all the rubbing that you'd be doing, wiping your face would be.
Oh yeah. Yeah, constantly. Constantly. Yeah, he's pretty controlled considering.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
I don't think she got back quite that early. I think she got back a little bit later than that.
Okay. What did you do today? Were you at the office or?
Nope, I was home. I came home. Paul and I messed around. I was up at the house. Laid down, took a nap on the couch, probably, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes. I got up, I called Maggie, didn't get an answer, and I left to go to my mom's. She had said she might ride with me, but she normally doesn't when I go over there. And I think I texted her. And she's very good about answering the phone, so that was odd, or calling me back. So that was odd, but it wasn't that big a deal.
We still have no idea how long they were laying there, do we?
Because he wasn't very clear about when Maggie got home, and he didn't really say when he took a nap or what time him and Paul were going around looking at trees and whatever.
Okay.
Now, what time was that?
What time was what?
That you sent her a text message.
This is where it gets good because he's saying it's like 9:08.
All right. I texted her at 9:08, going to check on M, be right back. And then I texted her at 9:47. That must be when I started to come back. I think I called her before that, but let me make sure.
Gross.
Pretty sure that I called her 9:45. And then I tried Paul. And then.
He said he tried Paul too, huh?
No, I think that was riding. I think that might have been riding over there.
I need to go back and watch some of those, Sunny, because I missed a little bit of it.
Do you want me to go back?
Oh no, like on those the people that already testified on the first 2 days of the trial.
Oh yeah, I've got to print off that witness list still. And then I'll go through and start crossing them off.
I mean, my calls are right here.
Yeah.
So, obviously this is when I, at 10:06,
What's at 10:06, Alex?
That call, isn't it?
Is that the 911 call at 10:06?
No, I think wasn't he calling Maggie? I'll go back.
Maggie didn't get an answer, and I left to go to my mom's. She had said she might ride with me, but she normally doesn't when I go over there. And I think I texted her. And she's very good about answering the phone, so that was odd, or calling me back. So that was odd, but it wasn't that big a deal.
Now, what time was that?
What time was what?
That you sent her a text message.
All right. I texted her at 9:08, going to check on M, be right back. And then I texted her at 9:47. That must be when I started to come back. I think I called her before that, but let me make sure. Pretty sure that I called her 9:45. And then I tried Paul. And then, no, I think that was riding. I think that might have been riding over there.
Oh, he fucked up.
10:03. I mean, my calls are right here.
Yeah.
What happened?
I think he fucked up because the one thing right now is that they're saying that the murders happened between 9 and 9:30, give or take. Well, he's saying that he got up to go and check on his mom and texted her as he was leaving, I guess, at 9:08. She didn't answer. And he says that he probably called her too at some point prior to that, but on his way back, he texted her at 9:47, probably called her at 9:45, and then he says, and then I called Paul, and then he goes, oh, wait, no, that must have been riding on the way. He was like 10:06. And that's the next thing he said. He was just like, I must have been riding on the way. 10:06.
Oh, okay. Let's do this again.
All right. I texted her at 9:08, going to check on M, be right back. And then I texted her at 9:47. That must be when I started to come back. I think I called her before that, but let me make sure. Pretty sure that I called her 9:45. And then I tried Paul. And then, no, I think that was riding. I think that might have been riding over there. 10:03. I mean, my calls are right here.
Yeah.
So, obviously this is when I, at 10:06,
Ted is case of water.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I got some right here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm sure we're going to have much more questions.
I'm available at, you let me know.
What's another number in case I can't get you on your cell?
I don't have a house phone.
Okay.
An office number. I can give you my brother's cell phones.
All right. What's Randy's?
Okay, Randy's is 803-943-8881.
And John?
John Marvin's is 843-321-5508.
That cop's sure familiar with the family.
My gosh.
And you said your dad's in the hospital?
Yes, sir.
Which hospital? Charleston or
Savannah, Candler, St. Joseph's.
Is he doing okay, or what's?
He's having a really, really hard time. He's got a lot going on. He's doing okay given everything, but he's got a lot going on.
About Maggie's family, where are they?
Somerville.
Have you been in touch with them tonight?
Contacted, yes. I had my brother call Bart, the wife of his sister, the husband of Maggie's sister, so that they could go and tell Maggie's parents. I felt like they needed to hear it in person. And they are going there and calling me. So they must not be there yet.
Maggie's parents in Somerville?
Yes. And her mom just had a knee replacement surgery, and her
So
dad really
why is he giving
has
those
trouble getting around nowadays.
It's weird.
You have any other children?
I do.
What's that?
I like the little details that he gives that aren't exactly important to the what's going on right here now. Like it's interesting. The little
it's like they're just shooting the shit.
It's almost like he's trying to prove that he's like cognitive or like not. Well, I don't know if he's trying to prove that, but it shows that he's cognitive. So he's obviously not on any kind of drug here.
Oh, no. No, I agree. I don't know. I still question. There's so many questions with this case that literally, who knows what's going to pop out of the woodwork.
Did he say that his mother was in a different hospital? Like
his mother?
Yeah.
I don't think I heard that.
Because I'm curious at his. I'm going to probably end up mapping this out, not tonight, but I'm interested to know where from that address, how far it is to Savannah. Because he went back and forth that he was visiting his dad and he was visiting his mom, but his dad was in the hospital and she's got Alzheimer's. You don't visit people at night, not at that time of night.
Yeah, he said she was freaking out. She doesn't like being alone.
But people with Alzheimer's tend to like freak out at night, like towards the end of the day.
Okay.
So like
maybe that's why he was going.
I mean, yeah, maybe, I don't know, like so, but it's just an interesting thing because like most people who have a family member who has Alzheimer's, they don't visit them at 9 o'clock at night. Like they visit them.
Well,
earlier in the day and
No.
just stay with them till X amount, and then.
Well, I think he said that she wasn't doing well. She gets uncomfortable, and it sounds like he just goes over to like settle her. Does that make sense or not?
Well,
so much?
yeah, no, like it would for sure. As a child, yeah, absolutely, it totally makes sense. I'm just curious at how he left the house at 9:08. If they're in two different places, whether she's at home and he's at the hospital at Savannah, or she's at a different hospital, he made two different stops.
Oh, did he?
And then made it all the way back home by 10.
Okay, I didn't realize he did both visits. I thought it was.
Well, that's kind of what I'm curious, because he's also not very specific about that, because he went back and forth. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to visit my mom, my dad," and then he was just like, "Saw my dad, came home." It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's odd.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
I have a 24-year-old.
That's right. You said it. What's his name?
Buster. Well, Richard Alexander Jr.
Okay. He goes by Buster.
He goes by Buster.
Is he here tonight?
He's on his way.
Okay. Laura, you got anything?
This one's hard, but when you first saw Paul, you said you tried to flip him over. Was he laying on his back or on his stomach?
Just like he
Just like he is. So you weren't able to move him. Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
And she answered the question for him. She said, "Oh, you weren't able to move him then." He's like, "Nope."
Okay, so it was kind of routine.
I need to.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to write that down, because she kind of answered the question she asked him. She answered it for him. She was like, "Oh, so you weren't able to move him,
right?"
And he was like, "No, ma'am." But at the beginning of this whole conversation, he mentioned like twice that he tried to flip him over.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did he really try that hard, or did he not touch him at all?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
For him to be out here as well.
This place is his absolute passion.
Okay.
I tried to turn him, and then I checked him, and I think I already knew, but I checked him.
How? How did he check him? And did he? Let's go back.
I tried to turn him, and then I checked him, and I think I already knew, but I checked him.
How did he check him?
And when you first pulled into the property, did you come from this direction where all our police cars are, or which way did you come in?
I went to the house.
Okay.
And then I came from the house
This way.
straight here. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I mean, where my vehicle was parked is probably
is where it was. Okay.
Well, no, maybe not exactly, but it was pretty close, because I came back the same route.
That's right, because you went back to get your shotgun.
When I came back.
I wish I had a demonstration of what directions they were talking about.
Right?
All right. I can't think of anything else right now, but we'll certainly be in touch.
Wow. Okay. I think we're just about. Okay, don't need that.
that didn't belong or shouldn't belong or that wasn't part of Paul?
No, sir, not.
What the heck?
Here. I mean, I pulled up and I could see him, and I knew something was bad.
And spell your last name so I get it correct.
Murdau.
Is this the same one? Is it the same one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Close that one out. This is the one we were talking about. Okay. Anything else on that one, Mexi?
On that one, no. I made a whole bunch of notes for myself to go back to listen to that one.
Okay.
The body cam footage, and then I want to listen to the 911 call. Just to see how these statements from how this interview goes lines up with his original 911 call.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there is so much to go through. I still have like tabs open for this case, and I'm thinking, okay, we've been doing this for 3.5 hours. So yeah. And as far as Brian Kohlberger goes, there's not really a whole lot. The biggest news has been that lawyer that has taken over his case had previously defended Ann Taylor, Ann Taylor is the lawyer, and she used to represent the father of Maddie Mogan, and she was also the lawyer for Kara Northington, which is Xana's mother. So there's a lot of controversy as far as that goes, whether or not, there's any kind of, or will be any kind of issues, because she has taken on another case. And how do I put that?
Conflict of interest.
A conflict of interest. So yeah, there's quite a bit out there on that right now. The thing is this is basically, for now, what's going to happen is we're going to hear we're not going to hear a lot on the actual case for a little while. So what happens is everything surrounding it starts to become some kind of news, and it ends up just being drama. And
yeah, because it's going to be 6 months until anything, like, everybody's gagged.
Yeah.
So as far as like information leaking or like before the trial, I just don't. But maybe as far as like, decisions on certain things or rulings, we'll hear about, but not things about the case per se.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's always leaks. So I mean, but then again, they usually end up leading to more questions too.
You know what came out today? The second part of that 36-page dossier thing. Do you remember that article? Somebody wrote like a whole essay. It was like 36 pages, like something ridiculous.
On which case?
On the Moscow case.
Oh.
The second part came out today on that.
All right. I'll have to take a look for that. I don't think I've been basically, checking out this case. there's been so much to it that I keep trying to learn more and more and more and more about it.
Yeah, this case goes back, like, the family's like goes back like 100+ years. That's even before they were solicitors. They were really important people in that town.
Well, that's the thing. They've been there forever, and they've always been very political. So maybe tomorrow we'll dig a little bit further into, let's see here, a little bit further into some of the other cases and see how they're doing. I think, depending on how the day's going, there's still so much to talk about the Murdochs that before court goes back into session might be a good time to kind of put a little bit deeper dive into Stephen, maybe a little bit deeper dive into what Alec Murdoch was doing, stealing all these funds from all these people.
Where'd that money go?
Where did that money go? Yeah, where did that money go? Good question. Right? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's an intriguing case. You know, it's just so much has happened and so much. It's the rabbit holes. It's the damn rabbit holes. So yeah, I'll kind of play it by ear tomorrow and see what comes of the day. What do you think, Mexi? Any case that do you think tomorrow might be, other than updating a little bit more on this one?
On a Sunday.
I tell you what.
If you want to do like a historic thing, have you ever heard of oh my god, Gerard Schaffner, I believe.
Oh, I'm not sure.
He was a cop in like the 70s, serial killer in Florida, Iowa. He's got 30+ people.
Yeah, maybe we'll take a boo.
Yeah, he's
right.
He's not pleasant, guys. He's not. Yeah, he's not a pleasant guy.
Well, maybe we can set something up on that historic channel and look into something like that for something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So, did you have anything picked out that you thought might be a giggle?
Did I show you guys? We showed the legs, right? Skinny legs McGee.
We did not look at those. No, we did not look at those legs.
So, guys, me and Franky were kind of like going through some of the evidence that they had released from the last few days from trial for the public's viewing. There's pictures of the shed, the kennels, the clothes that Alec was wearing. And there's one picture in there that they put out that
it is very odd.
Why hasn't anyone offered an explanation? Why didn't the person in the court who was like, yep, that's the evidence, I took that picture, I put that little number down, why didn't they explain what was going on here?
Exactly. Are you going to look for it, or do you want me to look for it?
Yeah, we don't share my entire screen. I have it up. Hold on.
Now check this one out, guys.
What are those? What are these? There's no explanation. I just look at those toes.
Right?
Holy tolies. They're so but
Yeah, and like, who is that person?
somebody just threw some legs up and they're just like legs. Like even if they were doing this for like some sort of scientific thing, they're like to check projection and trajectile and all this stuff, put some pants on the person. Why? They got leg for days. That's a good already 3 feet up.
Like
There's
it's
no
yeah,
explanation for this. This is super weird and creepy.
yeah. Just like how random is that? You like yeah, how random is that? A pair of legs.
And
in the back of a
nobody
crime
in
scene.
court said nothing. Nobody. No.
No.
Look at those toes.
Yeah, it's like alien.
Are those?
It's an alien.
I just don't even.
Oh my word. Oh.
I have no idea
Oh my
what
word.
this is.
Right, sunshine.
Man. It creeps
Yeah.
me out. I find it hilarious. I'm sure there's an explanation. I just wish they would have gave it at the court so we could all have heard that.
Did you notice that, sunshine? Had you noticed the random pair of legs in the back of the crime scene photo? Like, what the hell? Yeah, just random. And I mean, it almost looks like the person is not wearing
any pants.
It doesn't. Yeah. Yeah,
I would
maybe a
at
banana
least make
hammock.
it somewhat correct, put some just white sneakers on, or some
Yeah, like
boots.
who would be walking around the crime scene barefoot? Like it is the most random thing.
Unless they're trying to like drop us a clue we don't even know about. I just don't what is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
No context, no explanation, nothing.
Yeah. 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 I have no idea why the hell there would be a random pair of legs in the middle of a crime scene.
This guy's like walking around taking pictures. He's like, "Oh, excuse me, my bad. I'm sorry." I just need to take a picture of that right there.
No, Sunshine hadn't seen it either. What do you think of that? Like, what are those legs doing there? And look at how narrow it is. Like, I don't know.
I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation, but I don't work in this field.
I would like to hear it.
Told.
I would like to know the reason why anybody would be in a crime scene barefoot.
And practically naked, from what I can see.
Yeah, unless he's wearing a banana hammock.
I don't. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know why that didn't come out. Like, okay, well,
I'm really surprised. Like, did the lawyers not ask? Like, I feel like I really need to go back and just check.
I have not heard
commentary.
I have not heard one thing about the random pair of legs.
Because I'm surprised Mr. Poot
Right?
over there wasn't like, hey.
Right?
And you didn't notice anybody else at the crime scene? There was nobody else there.
It's just like, what the hell? Yeah. Well, they were basically saying, they should have teleported them down there to get evidence, but they're so they're so careful that they're saying, don't even wear clothes, man. Go in there. Yeah. We do not want to mess up the crime scene. Do not take anything in there with you. Drop your drawers right
Maybe
there.
that's where Alec Murdaugh got the clean clothes from.
Ooh.
The person's still hiding in the
This guy was wearing the clean shirt
waiting for their clothes back. Like,
and the clean pants.
can you bring me back my green khakis, please?
Right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I can't wait
Yeah.
for Monday. I can't wait. Like,
back to court. Yep.
Yes, because it's gonna be the defense cross on this one lady who's been opening up boxes for like.
Yeah. Yep.
That was brutal.
It's an interesting case.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, maybe tomorrow. I would like to touch base on. I feel like I've deserted the kids, so I would like to do a little something. Maybe tomorrow I'll touch base on that as well.
Sure.
And then, look at a historic case and do something maybe a little bit different.
Yeah.
The other channel's got like a whole 6 people subscribed or something. So,
well, this guy that I'm thinking of, he's a little. I think he might be a little bit too much for a Sunday. So,
okay,
maybe we'll go with someone or something lighter. I don't know.
Something lighter. Yeah, a lighter kind of murder. Not a stressful one, like a lighter.
Just a lighter kind of, or a
well,
mystery.
it's not lighter,
like
but this guy's
the Yuma 5, Dutloff Pass. I can never say that. Dutloff Pass.
Well, there's also like Anna Walsh. And
Yeah.
that
That's right.
She was
Because we haven't
married
covered her in
to.
a couple of days.
Yeah. And her master criminal that she married. Unreal.
Worst con man
Right?
on earth, and also a murderer. Well, allegedly, we don't know yet. We'll see. Who Googles those things?
Who Googles what?
How to get rid of a body if you really need to. Do you really need to, buddy? Are you trying to tell us something? Like, obviously.
Oh yeah, pretty amazing.
That man did
Pretty
bad
amazing.
things.
That's one of the dumbest criminals that I think I've heard of. Yeah, just not a smart one. Well, friend, it is.
Oh, Chris Kremer. Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's write that one down.
Where on Discord? You see these things and I can't find it.
Chris Kremers.
Oh, you know what? I agree. We should. I never remember those girls' names, but they're like disappeared. Well, they disappeared like in the jungle. They went like on a day hike and went missing. But there's weird pictures, and then their bag was found with like their stuff neatly packed inside, and
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's an interesting.
It's got some twists and turns. Very strange.
Well, I mean,
How
it
long
could
ago?
be very possible that they maybe, got hurt and lost and, they perished out in the jungle, but it doesn't explain why their bag was found, like, not even sun damaged. Well, all of their stuff neatly packed and like a whole different location from where their remains were found.
Oh, they were in Panama.
And their remains were like bleached white, which I mean, I guess could happen from the sun, but they were like too perfect, like pristine, should I say. They were really pristine for being on the jungle. You would think wildlife would just,
Yeah, they thought that they had fallen off a cliff or
Right.
something.
Yeah, and there was some like strange pictures but I don't know. I can't really tell what I'm looking at in those pictures, but they are strange.
Okay.
Hmm.
I will I'll take a
Yeah,
look.
it was like almost like they were. I almost feel like maybe like they were using the camera flash for lighting, like walking in the dark jungle.
Okay.
They were probably just like flashing pictures every so often to like get light or
Mhm.
like try to flash it up at the sky, maybe.
Okay. For signals.
Yeah, but
What type of thing? Okay.
I don't know. I'm just because the pictures are so strange. Like like there's pictures of literally just what looks like nothingness, like the skies.
That's something.
Looking at it's
Isn't that something?
eerie.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at it here really quick. Their dog returned.
Yeah, that's another strange thing because that dog belonged to the people's whose house they were staying at because they were like what would you call them, like foreign exchange students? Not foreign,
Okay.
something very similar, but they were just like kind of boarding with like a kind person. And like this person let them take their dog out on this trek.
Okay.
And the dog came back, but they didn't.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And their backpacks were found.
Yeah.
Passport, bottle of water, like cash, cameras. Isn't that something? Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I wrote it down, so maybe it's something I'll take a look at tomorrow. My eyes are crossing.
I haven't slept in days.
I know you haven't. You need to sleep, my friend.
I know.
Strange nighttime photos taken days after.
Figure it out.
Attempts to call 911.
Several times.
Strange circumstances.
Very strange.
Maybe I'll make a
Strange,
thing on
dark,
it too.
mysterious, all things I love. Let's do it.
All the good things. Okay. Well, how about we call it a night? And yeah, thanks guys for hanging out with us. Ended up being much longer than we usually go, but again, that
Murdoch case.
Yeah, the case is it's hard to say the case or the trial because they both encompass so many different little trials and cases.
And I do
within
wonder
it.
how they're all gonna like commingle, or if they even will. Like, what information will come in?
Well, they've already brought up that boat crash, so I think that opens the door to. Yeah, I think somebody's opened the door to. I hear
if
a
it's
bird.
if it's relevant. My God, see, I really do need sleep. I can't even.
I beg your pardon?
I really do need sleep. I can't even vocabulate. I can't
vocabulate.
Speak. I can't speak. I can't pronounce.
Well, how about we say good night to our friends?
Bye, guys. Always
Thank
a
you
pleasure.
again.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you.